So I heard you bought a house.
Hey, Dana. I did buy a house, and it's always good when the house is on Google within 15 seconds. People's like, I've already seen your house. I never need to come over. I saw it online.
All humans know where all other humans live, you know, because we bought a place in the mountains. And the business manager that we both have said, oh, you don't, no reason to put it under a trust or try to hide the name. Everybody knows you're there. Isn't it creepy?
Yeah, mine was under his name, my big fake, house. And then they just figured out. So he's like, we don't even need that anymore. So.
I don't know if I should say this, but my wife and I, after you bought the house, but you haven't moved in, we actually camped out one night in your yard.
Oh, you went to my house?
Yeah, we knew where it was. Like everyone else, there was a lot of people there. And I go, get out of the way. I know the guy.
You know, it's funny that there was a transient in there that the real estate guy just mentioned one day. He goes, oh, there was a guy in there. I go, a guy in my house? He goes, yeah, it was had furniture in it. He was just sleeping in one of the beds. Told him to get lost.
Yeah,
I go,
it's fine. It's like Three Little Bears or something.
That feels weird. Yeah, it was like Goldilocks.
People always worry about the homeless, but I always say, what are we going to do with the clueless?
Yeah.
No one has an answer for the second part.
Does Biden?
There's no funding. My Biden is now down to a sound.
Biden doesn't make sense.
Come on, let's get real. I'm not kidding around. No joke. No joke. That should be our alternate title for this. No joke.
It's no joke.
Not kidding around.
I'm not kidding around.
Uh-oh.
So Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Yeah. He's good to hang out with.
He was in, what are your favorite Tom Hanks movies?
Well, I just think he had a run like Redford did in the 70s. He starts out with you could put Big in there, kind of like crazy hit.
Jesus.
Then Philadelphia Story, drops a couple LBs, gets the statue.
That's right.
Comes back with Forrest Gump like 8 months later, like the Beatles dropping Magical Mystery Tour after the Pepper album. And he comes back with Forrest Gump, another Oscar, not since Spencer Tracy. Then he comes back with Apollo 13, which I think is a perfect movie. It's like a left and a right. Then it's Saving Private Ryan. Hello, reinvented World War II, Spielberg genius. Then he loses 100 pounds, does Castaway. No one's ever done that. That's like a mic drop of show business.
The worst part is, I'm not going to say which three, but I turned down 3 of those. And I see him and I go, I could have done that.
I heard you were the stunt body double after the weight loss on Castaway in the wide shot.
And they go, we don't want him skinny fat. And I go, oh, is that what I am?
Remember when you had to be Perot in the wide shot? I was playing 2 characters in a sketch on SNL, President Bush and Ross Perot. But in the wide shot, they used you as Ross Perot.
Do I remember or do I think about it?
I want to apologize right now for okaying that.
Yeah, the answer is I think about it all the time, and it makes me sick to my stomach that I had to get full hair and makeup, bald cap to go for a wide shot.
I know.
And then right when I didn't even, and the worst part, I didn't know it. And so when they went for me to talk, they go, hold. Thanks, David. Back to extras holding. Dana getting hair and makeup to play Perot.
Well, it's because you kind of look like my little brother. I mean, for a long time, I didn't even know your name, so I just called you Understudy. I remember that. Hey, Understudy, come over here. Because, yeah, you were like laying in wait. You actually put the dress on for Church Lane once, right? They fitted it.
You were like, why is the pizza delivery guy still here and trying to write on sketches? All right, let's get to Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Tom Hanks, please enjoy.
Remember, it wasn't that long ago to create content. You actually had to type a blog, Now, this just removes all effort from it.
All effort.
Exactly. Welcome to my job.
Let me get this straight. The 3 of us don't sit around all day anyway and crack wise. And, this is what we do all day long. Talk about
Pretty
stuff,
much.
sort of.
Yeah.
Dodge issues.
That's when you're creative, when you're just hanging out, not trying to do anything. Then something pops in your brain.
Our why prepare when we can just make it up mentality is now providing us providing you guys with a healthy living.
People love behind the scenes more than ever.
Is that what we're doing behind the scenes? We having a talk about behind the scenes?
Well, kind of.
Because I got some lingering questions from Don't Shoot Me that I want to fire at.
I have a bone to pick about that.
I worked with your former boss on that.
Who, Levitan?
The actor.
Oh,
the actor.
Siegel?
No. Who played the photographer with the beard? He was in I'm having a cranial plate shift here. He was in the
Rico?
Mr. Rogers movie, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Rico.
Yes.
How can you forget a name like Rico?
You did.
He was one of the most delightful human beings I'd ever come across. He's
a sweetheart.
He was a blast.
We thought he looked like Cookie Monster or something from Sesame Street.
How many years did you do that show for, Dave?
That's a great question. Dana, in all his years, has never asked me anything about me.
Well, I want to know what your back end was.
No, that's the real question.
I'm a numbers guy.
That was old TV, man. You could have come in third place on that night, and we'd have numbers now that would be heralded as,
I got canceled with 24 million viewers. The Mickey Rooney Show, 1981. We had 24 million on a Saturday night. They said, "Get your stupid show and get off the lot."
What numbers did they use to justify letting you go?
I don't know. Maybe it was Mickey's handgun that he had at the ready at all times. His .38 revolver.
No, I think that plays now.
They show Dana's numbers on an abacus. They're like, each bead equals 1 million viewers.
God, Mickey Rooney, Dana, you worked with Mickey Rooney. You worked with Burt Lancaster. You worked with Kirk Douglas. Tell me you made out with Sophia Loren on some movie at some point.
So, Meg Ryan played my girlfriend on the Mickey Rooney Show for a few episodes before you got your claws on her in those mailman movies. I can't remember the names, but
the mailman movies.
Those mailman movies.
Here Comes Mailman. I think that was the name of both of the films.
Okay,
I have a real question.
Go.
Yeah.
I do too.
You played a mailman.
You dodged my question, David. You dodged my question. How many seasons of Just Shoot Me did you do?
Oh, we did 6. And
6 seasons. That's huge.
148 high qual episodes. But what I did, Dana's real question is, after the first year, I was added on after the pilot, so I wasn't on the show. I watched it, and we'll get to you, Tom, in about 40 minutes. I was added, and then they wrote me in, and then we reshot the pilot. Anyway, after one season, they go, I try to sniff around for some more money.
Yeah.
And they go, hey, easy guy. We've had one lucky season. You're on against Friends and ER and like sort of a heyday of all these things.
And by the way, if you were a substitute teacher, you'd love the pay that they were giving you.
I was good, but then I thought it's not enough. Meanwhile, when I got it, I was ecstatic. So I was coming off about $600 a week on SNL. So I go, all right.
Overpaid.
And so I go, I want more. I demand. And they go, we would rather give you a piece of the show gambling. If you don't want more money right now, gambling that it won't go 5 years. We're betting against you. And I said, okay. And then later, a couple years later, I go, can I get some more money too? And they were like, good God.
My interest was actually the quality of the writing and the performance on the show, but you went right to the bitterness of your deed.
I was answering
you went right
Dana.
to the amount of money. Oh, you were answering Dana.
Tom, you and I are actors, and we understand a different mindset.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Yes.
You're watching television, you with Rita, me with Paula. Do you ever find yourself seeing an old movie or TV show, you look up the guy's age or the woman's age, and then you look up their net worth? You ever done that, or is it just me?
I must say I've never done that.
Thank you, Tom. You're a decent person.
You've never looked up how old is Kelsey Grammer? How old?
We can make an estimation because we've been watching him since he had a couple of lines on every Cheers episode.
Right.
But that was a while back. So I know he's,
I'm going to put him around our area.
He's over 40 because that's how many years we've been watching him on TV.
All right. I have a real question for Tom.
I have a real question.
And I have a real question for Dana. So we'll just go around. We'll just go around and around.
I have a real question.
You played a mailman in You've Got Mailman.
Twice.
And you played a FedEx guy. Do you feel like you're typecast?
Yes, I do. I'm looking for that perfect DHL project. And I have an entire closet full of brown shorts, brown shirts, brown socks, and brown shoes. So when it comes time to play Mr. UPS,
right,
they come to me before they go to anyone.
I think an Amazon worker who wins the company lottery and goes on Blue Origin.
And goes up into space. How about that?
Everything ends with space.
Wow. Everything.
Which when I think of you, okay, here's a statement. You can respond any way you want. Because I see you as a quintessential baby boomer along with myself.
No, I was born in 1956, right.
55, beat you.
I just Googled it.
Anyway, first of all, when I think of you, I think of World War II.
Yeah.
The Beatles, because of that thing you do, and outer space.
Yeah.
Basically. World War II, Band of Brothers. Incredible. So here's a question for you as a 50s, 60s kids. If you had a choice, would you rather have a Super Ball or silly putty?
Oh, man. Silly
Don't
putty.
answer. Right off
I'm right there on silly putty, and I'll tell you why. You roll up silly putty into a ball, and it is a Super Ball.
Whoa.
And yet, it bounced really high, and yet you could like stretch it out and put it on a newspaper, and then pull it off and see the comic right there on the newspaper.
Yeah.
You could shape it like buck teeth and put it in your mouth. You could tear it in half and put it behind your ears and make your ears stick out. Silly putty, which should have been called Super Putty,
Miracle Putty,
because it could do Miracle Putty.
It was developed at NASA, I believe.
And who did not lose a Super Bowl after about 2 days?
First one,
right?
Boing later,
boing up on the roof, boing into the down into the culvert, off into the wash.
Overrated or underrated baby boomer toy? Slinky.
Overrated.
Agree.
Yeah.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Oh, underrated.
Cool.
Oh,
underrated.
Dear.
Yeah.
Underrated. That was the gold standard.
You could never live up to the commercial on most toys I got, like Evil Knievel with the zip SSP. What do they call? And it would go forward.
Supersonic power.
You'd pull the string in it, or and it would haul ass. It's hard to make it jump the Snake River, but it was cool. That was.
You could get over a pile of books, with the right kind of like ramp. You had one of those? That was honestly, I became maybe because I'm older and wiser, I became a very discerning connoisseur of toy commercials that I knew were lies.
Yeah.
It's not that great.
It took me too long.
Hasbro were always lying.
Okay, here, and I know, and I'm going to tell you why, because I could tell that on a Slinky commercial when it walked the stairs without a care, those were not real stairs. The treads on those stairs were only like 4 inches wide. So you take them home and say, "Oh, I'm going to make this walk down the stairs from upstairs down in the living room
like a fool."
Well, those treads are 11 inches wide.
Damn.
They would go down one, but then it would stop because it couldn't get over there and come all the way down.
I'm adding Sherlock Holmes to the World War II Beetle outer space guy. I'm adding Sherlock Holmes to you.
And as soon as you got that improper knot in the middle of the Slinky, where
it was
twisted
over.
the wrong way,
Done.
It never came back.
It was over. Let me give another baby boomer quick conversational piece, because the formative years, David's a little younger than us, but kind of from 4.
Does he look it?
You fucking assholes.
So. Don't the years of abuse, my friend.
I blame the ring light.
You got to face the window. I spent a half hour on this.
I have ring light poisoning.
Even though this isn't going anywhere, only Tom will see.
You fair-haired boys don't age well, man. You just don't.
We don't. My ancestors were in the caves in Scotland and Scandinavia and Ireland. My skin was not prepared for growing up in California. But this mic really works for me because the neck just left me a while back. The neck went nuts.
I know. That's why you see a lot of guys wearing ascots, and kerchiefs around it.
Yeah, like Nora Ephron, the great Nora Ephron.
Yeah, no,
I hate my neck.
That's
yeah. Okay. These are just fun for me to think about and think of which ones you would like.
All right.
Movies and all. You could add TV shows too in your formative years that stuck with you. I got to put Wizard of Oz because I saw it when I was 3 or 4. Scared the shit out.
Oh, yeah. The Flying Monkeys, man.
Scared the fuck
And
out.
The Witch.
Why is that a kid's movie? It's so scary.
It is so scary.
Luckily, there was no Twitter back then.
They would have colorized the early black and white portion of the movie because the network would have been afraid that, hey, it's in black and white, people will turn it off, and they would have colorized the first part. That's
Okay.
that's what they're thinking would have been.
All right. So in 59 or 60, I don't know when these movies went on TV. I assume fairly quick after their theatrical release. The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Didn't see it for years.
Didn't see it for years. All right. Pass. Jason and the Argonauts.
Oh, huge.
All right. We got a winner. I know.
If you look at that pound for pound, moment by moment, and you can talk about who was the guy that did the animation, world famous. His name will come up.
Ray Harryhausen.
Ray Harryhausen's stop animation. Between the Valley of the Titans with those huge statues that come to life, and the battle against the skeleton army. If you take that and just say, okay, never mind how cheesy it looks, and blah blah blah. It is pound for pound the most action-packed science fiction fantasy movie ever.
Oh yeah,
bar none.
It's unreal.
The stop motion still holds up and still has a creepy quality to it. The giant man where they took the Achilles heel and all the
and all the sand came out, or that the maidenhead figure that was the goddess Hera or whatever
whispering,
it is.
Yes,
he would open.
Jason,
you must go to the land. That was great. Oh, and how about the harpies that they capture on the net by
with the blind guy?
Oh man!
And the gods playing games. So I showed that.
That was a biggie.
And I show that to my sons, at an appropriate age where it blew their minds, 6, 7.
I think
8.
Also, you'll say, so you and I are watching this. Jason and the Argonauts would have been on TV. It would have been on something like the CBS Sunday night movie, the NBC Saturday night movie. And because it had those commercials in it, we could pause our excitement just long enough to, one, develop essentially all the ADHD that we now carry with us.
Right.
Because our attention span needed a commercial break every 12 minutes or so.
Yes.
But it ended up elongating the night. So, an hour and a half movie would really be stretched out into 2 hours. And that was a full night of rock'em sock'em entertainment.
And it's not, and it's great to have the commercials. I like the commercials.
And, so not long. I'm going to say 66 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
The ABC Sunday night movie first started showing James Bond movies, and that was like,
I have Goldfinger on here as
are you crazy?
seminal.
That was insane. It was so great. But Bridge Over the River Kwai. Over the River Kwai is shown in 2 parts on Sunday night and on Monday night. On Monday, every guy at school is walking around whistling the Colonel Bogey March.
Can you do it?
Dude, I can't. Yeah. So we're doing that, and we are. Well, no, it's actually a very famous musical march. But here's the thing: that David Lean shot that thing in the widest screen possible, but we watched it in essentially 350 lines of bad video scan.
Analog,
and with a feature called pan and scan. So that a scene that on the screen would have 3 people in it talking in the jungle, pan and scan would be on William Holden and then slowly automatically move over to some other guy. But you could not have convinced me, based on 2 nights with commercials and pan and scan, that Bridge Over the River Kwai was not the greatest motion picture ever made. For a couple of weeks until I saw something else.
Oh yeah. So I knew I'd floor you with these. I knew.
You have an SNL question?
David, do I have an SNL question? Well, I had one.
Well, you guys did the comedians. Were you in that one together where you played comedians?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, Smigel wrote that. That was one of the first things Smigel got on the air.
The stand-up guys. I would just say, when Tom came to SNL, he was, I just made notes.
No shit.
He was the most like a cast member to me. Like, he felt like a cast member.
That's cool. The first time I did it, I was wickedly excited. The second time I did it, I wasn't very good at all. But the third time I did it, which is when you were on, by that time I knew what not to do and how to save your energy and how to participate.
Oh yeah, it's an incredibly difficult thing to host. Much easier to be.
Yeah.
So Smigel, Robert Smigel of the comic,
talk to him all the time. Genius.
Absolute genius. He came and said, "Listen, I wrote this thing about comedians who always say, I mean, come on. I mean, hey, they're
why do they do this?
Why would they do that? And he wrote in a joke that was hey, what's the deal with socks? And Dennis Miller, the comedian par excellence, says, hey, man, that's Jerry Seinfeld's material. You can't take that from him. He was adamant. He says, you cannot take a comics, great bit and blow it out on TV. He'll never be able to use it again. And Smigel was it's old, man. He won't miss it. He said, no, man, you can't do this. So we called Jerry Seinfeld.
To find out.
And I never met him, but we're in the famous people's club. Hey, you're famous, I'm famous, so we can talk to each other like we know each other. It's all a lie.
Right. Yeah.
And I said, listen, I'm on SNL. We're doing this thing about comedians. I'm like, hey, what's the deal with the socks? But if you're still doing the sock bit, we'll come up with some other joke.
So rude way to put it.
I said, I really appreciate the call. Quite frankly, that's been retired from my act. If you guys want to do it, you can go ahead and do it.
I don't care.
Very great. Hey, what's the deal with a date on milk? It was that guy. Hey.
And then later when Jerry came, when he was hosting, we did some kind of game show with him where we did jokes.
Hey.
And I had a joke that actually worked. It was like Gilligan's Island. What's up with Gilligan's Island? If the professor can make a radio out of a coconut, why can't he fix a hole in the damn boat?
Fucking true.
So it was actually a good joke.
That's a good joke.
What is the deal? I don't know.
It was brilliant. And I do believe it was one of the first things Smigel got on the air. You can ask him yourself.
I remember, and I was doing this, somehow this came up with someone the other day. We were playing, you guys, Smigel wrote it probably, but you were playing a guy who worked at an electronics store from the Middle East.
Yes.
And the idea that inside these gadgets, they were like kick-a-day generic gadgets, but inside they had Sony Electronics.
Sony Guts.
Sony Guts.
Which was something I was told at an electronics store owned by Middle Eastern guys who were trying, who really wanted to take cash, not a credit card.
It sounded like something
and
real.
What he was telling me was, he says, no, you don't understand. All of the electronics come from one single place, and everybody makes their electronics from this place. So this is actually Sony Guts. He said
we said it 300 times in that sketch.
Was it Sabra?
He's got Sony Guts.
It was Sabra Shop, That's
He's got Sony Guts. He's got Sony Guts. He's got Sony Guts.
Look. That's what he said. No. Look. And what I loved is Michael did it so that it looked huge on the screen. Like it looked like it was a really big piece of electronics, but when his finger came into the frame to push the button, you realized it was the size of a wallet. It was a very, very funny bit.
Oh, Smile. But you also go ahead, David.
Oh, I was going to say,
want to talk about when we were the naked sketch, the penis sketch. But
I'll do a quickie of when on my end when I was just writer performer and Tom came in. One thing was funny was that Tom let me write a sketch with him, which was. Didn't make it to fucking air, subway surfing. But But it was a good idea that I got to write with the host. And I think in the middle of dress, we were giving it everything and we were looking at each other going, it's not happening. Like it's the worst feeling. You're like, fuck, goddamn. Because it just
did it have a theme song? Or
it was a full song.
Oh, yeah, it was a full song. It was like we were ruffians who we were essentially a surf gang that rode the subways and said, what was it? Some of the lines were don't be afraid of a youth gang turf war, just stand up and balance and make it a surf war. You don't need a wetsuit aboard or an ocean. The transit authority provides you the motion.
Holy shit.
And then we had the bridge was INT, BMT, bow, 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 IRT, wow, 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 way, subway shuttle, blah, 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 blah. And here's the thing, Lauren hated it. He just said, I don't get it. Do you live in the subway? Why? I don't.
He put the whammy on it because we gave it fucking everything. And sometimes when you do a sketch if you just get off, I don't even know if it was that one, but sometimes you get off on the wrong foot. If you just had 2 takes, it would be great. You just start and you go, can I start again? But instead you're in it and you're like, God damn it, it's going.
Not happening.
And
If the audience doesn't know where you're going, you miss that. You just
didn't work.
Oh, I'll tell you. Okay, so we're in a pitch meeting, Dana.
All right.
And you know the Monday meeting where we all cram in Lauren's office.
Incredibly fun.
And
can I just say from the host perspective?
Yeah.
It is the most exciting gig in show business. It's less than a week.
Yeah.
You show up on Monday, you're exhausted, and yet you're spent by the end of the show on Sunday night, Saturday, except Sunday morning. Yeah. But you do wish you could do it again. You do wish you could just come right back on.
Right, because now you get it. Now you're like, I got it.
I would say as a cast member and sometimes host, experientially, first of all, you're in New York City.
Yeah.
Second of all, you're in Rockefeller Center. There can be animals on the show. It's a 3-ring circus. Everything's going live. You're never ready. So it's just, and then there's the crazy party. I've never stayed up that late in my life. The last time I was out there doing a guest
burn that
spot,
energy off.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to go to the end. I'm not going to bail out at 4 a.m. I'm going to stay. I was at Lauren's table, and I'm going to see what this guy can do. So he's going on. He's saying all this brilliant stuff. You know, we see what you think of this one. Oh, we were raised in the wilderness, and then we got civilized. Our kids are raised civilized, and we expect them to go out into the wilderness. So stuff like that for hours. It's kind of brilliant, right? Finally, the lights come up.
I love
the lights come up at 6 a.m. Well, I guess we should be going now. But yeah, it goes 6 a.m.
Let's go to 88.
Amazing.
What about, okay, so we're doing this pitch meeting, and Tom might have been the Bruce Springsteen Tom one, maybe. You did one with Bruce?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
I did. Those people alone are a reason to mark, the hang that you
Oh
get
my
on.
God. I mean, and
Yes,
we're
I know.
excited because we just finished with Alec Baldwin or something, and then it's like, you just wake up hungover, you're doing an honor, and like Tom Hanks this week. So you go in, and I think this is with you, maybe it wasn't, but we go in that meeting, and by now Tom is caught on by his 8th hosting, is that some of the ideas are bullshit. So because everyone's just getting their bearings. And so
you got to have an idea.
Yeah, you got to have an idea. And Lauren is like, David, Dana.
There's some water treading at that Monday meeting.
Yeah, because everyone just finished.
I have an idea about a guy who,
you want to surprise him at read through, so you don't want to blow your wad at the thing. It's funny. You want to surprise him.
There's a guy with a catchphrase.
Yeah, it's all a game of like psychologically tricking the other writers and making sure, because by the time the show's there, like Tom said, it goes so fast that you're like getting your UPS costume ripped off in Velcro, and they're putting a new one on. They're like, and the writer runs with you out and goes, by the way, you're not Russian, you're Polish now, and the middle's different. And you're like, what? 3, 2, and you're like, hello.
And yet, there it is.
Yeah, that's funny. So we're in the meeting, and they go, what's your ideas? And I see Farley sitting on the ground, pulling on the carpet and pulling on his hair, and he's just so fucking nervous, and he never has any ideas. And Lauren sometimes skips him out of just mercy. And then Schneider or someone's giving a fake idea. Tom, you're a caveman afraid of caves. And Tom's like, okay. And then it all sounds like an idea. And then he goes, Chris? And then Chris goes, then he goes, pull hair. And he goes, then he goes,
his fingers are snapping with each other.
He's touching everything. And he goes,
yeah.
Hey, Tom Hanks. And then I'm next to him going, are we saying his whole name, Tom Hanks?
Why not?
Out of nerves,
hey,
he goes,
Tom Hanks.
And then he goes like this. I was thinking maybe, this is the real one, and I thought it was for you. He goes, that movie, Marty? And Lauren goes, with Ernest Borgnine. And Chris goes, yeah, something about that. And then everything's dead silent, and Lauren goes, this is the week. Everyone's going to be looking for that Marty sketch.
For Marty.
And then I go, are you out of your fucking mind? He goes, shut the fuck up. And I see it written like with a crayon, Marty. I'm like, and he goes, I saw it the other night. I go, what does that have to do with Tom Hanks? He goes, shut the, you don't know fucking anything, dude. And then we leave, and I go, hey, I don't know if are you going to go write up Marty? And then the rest of the week, everyone's like, what's the status of Marty? Is Tom going to gain weight for it?
Brutal atmosphere.
So funny.
Nothing like it anywhere else in show business. This is the other thing. There is no gig, there is no hosting thing, there is no cameo that you do that is like being on Saturday Night Live. And I think that's still that's the reason why people still come out and say, I can't believe it. Here I am on stage on Saturday Night Live, and the audience always whoops.
That's the beginning of the roller coaster, the monologue. You're like,
do you guys think that it was unintentionally a bit of a reality show because you're putting Michael Jordan on a live sketch show, and I'm behind the slat with Michael Jordan. I can see he's a little tense, so I'm going, Michael, just if you have to, just look at the cards. Yeah. Or you're with Sting, we're going to go into the scene, and he looks at me and goes, how's my hair? How is it? So there's these, the high wire act of Wayne Gretzky or Joe Montana.
I love the one where he was essentially a hockey player in Hawaii.
Yes, and he's so good.
And he flipped a burger off a grill, and Phil Hartman said, how did you do that?
And then he sang a song, didn't he? I mean,
yes, he did.
He was surprisingly charismatic.
Oddly, a lot of times the stuff is not hilariously funny when it's on. Yeah. It's still worthy of repeat viewings and examinations. Because there was one where when Will was Janet Reno. And, he was in a dress, and he had that little bit of lip gloss, and, he was threatening everybody and punching everybody. And then you guys got the actual Janet Reno, the Attorney General of the United States of America, to bust through a fake brick wall and yell, it's clobbering time. Do you remember? Janet Reno bust through and says, it's clobbering time. I said, how did they pull that off? That's a brilliant
That is part of the fun, that you don't know who's coming, who might come, and there's really almost no one too big to just do a cameo or something just to pop in.
Everybody. Okay, so here's a question for the two of you guys. You're on the show for a long time, and you guys kind of like became
7 years.
You became David Spade, and you had the Hollywood Minute that was immediate. I don't know if that was your immediate every time you were on you got a nickel. And then Dana, you started with a church lady. I don't want to. Okay, so how long you were on? 7 years, Dana. David, how many years
6.
you were on? All right, what is the day like after or have been told that you're not on SNL anymore? This is a great paradox of show business that I'm fascinated with, because you can talk about the highlights. It can all be, this is your life, and then Dana, you played drums for Wayne World, but that's the yin. The yang is your aces. You're at the top of your game. You have established yourself. You've taken the beachhead. You've landed on the moon. You've done all those things that you never quite believed would actually happen, and yet you had faith in yourself to make it happen, and then it did. And 12 hours ago or 24 hours ago, you knew you were going to be on SNL. And at noon on a day, that, okay, I'm now going to move on to the next chapter of being funny and what I do for a living. How long does that last, and how do you get through it?
Well, I can only say for myself, like when I got on, the idea would people were going to leave and be movie stars. I mean, I think Eddie Murphy did 3 years. Other people did 4. When I left at 7, John Lovitz left after 5, and Dennis. I stayed till 7, and it was sort of all the forces at play. I got almost too big because of Bush, Wayne's World, and Perot. So there was so much coming at me, but I feel like I really was just catching my stride. I mean, I think it was
at year 7.
Yeah, 6 and 7. I think at least 80 shows just to get used to tape and everything. Yeah. Having fun with very little fear. And that's when I was doing Carson, which was the only sketch I had on there where I wasn't cognizant of it. Is it getting laughs? Because internally it just felt so funny and real to me.
Oh, and those you watched on slow motion. You watched every inch, because no one in the history of show business had nailed Carson. No one had been able to do him. No one had imitated him on TV. Not Rich Little, nobody.
And the combo with Phil was perfect.
Yeah.
The weird, wild stuff. I did not know that.
Skewed.
I'll throw one thing in for you right now, Tom. You probably have stuff you do just for friends. Not really a bit. So for friends, I don't know why, Johnny Carson getting pulled over on the PCH in 1972, okay?
Yeah, by the Highway Patrol.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, officer. I didn't know I was swerving. I had two slippery monkeys at the hook and crook.
So stupid.
So it's the cocktail and the establishment. Sure.
Go on YouTube and see one of his Karnak the Magnificent bits.
Fucking love Karnak.
No.
He opens an envelope to his forehead and he says, "Sis boom ba."
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and
I know
and
that's
says
one.
"Sis boom ba." And he opens it, blows on it, pulls it out.
Yeah.
And says, "What does your sheep say just before it explodes?"
Oh my God.
I saw that with friends over the holidays, and I swear to God, we laughed for 17 minutes uncontrollably.
What's the sis?
Boom ba.
Sis boom ba. Ba.
Johnny Carson was untouchable. I did Peter Jennings moderating
Yes.
one of the presidential debates before you nailed that not got that. You just had glasses and a wig on. It said, "Stay the course."
That was it. And you were Jennings. It
1,000 points of light. Stay the course.
took me a year to make that character funny. Took me a year.
Well, because they're
to really
so basic, you got to find a hook.
I come on it a year later, and I haven't done the show. And by that time, you're doing it. And I saw the script page. I wasn't in the sketch. I saw the script pages for you as Bush, and I honestly said, "This is written in gibberish. I don't know what it said."
It said "na ga
It
ba
just
ba."
said "na
Ga, da, yeah.
and
Na,
then
ga,
it said
da,
"na da ga
da, da.
dot." What does this mean? I
So
don't.
funny.
I got to do it. The thing about that sketch is that I was in a lockdown shot. So, and it was the cold opening.
Home
so
base.
It was the only time I could extend rhythms. I could improvise a bit, take things further. And many a time I thought, okay, I'm in trouble when it was over.
Because they go, it went 19 minutes.
That and and what was the guy, the McLaughlin group when you
Issue
did
number
Issue
one.
Issue
Yeah.
number one.
Molten teeny tiny tabletop. Eleanor, I think you're Swellenor.
Oh, I like
This stuff,
That's
I'm literally talking about something I saw once, and then
Wrong.
I could
Special K with banana.
What did you have for breakfast? I had special K's
With
and
banana.
sliced banana.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
I had the show taped, so I saw one of the compilations reruns, and there was some sketch that was in a restaurant, and everybody was saying, you like the taste? You want to taste the sauce?
Yeah.
Oh, you like the
it in
sauce?
juice.
Yeah.
And you like it in juice. And I just came in the tail end, and David Spade came on looking like he was 13 years old and saying, is there any way you guys could end this sketch? Oh, you'd like us to end this sketch?
Ah, you like it if there was no more
But you
catchphrase.
you looked like a Mormon missionary who was knocking on the door collecting for
I saw that,
the
and I was
paperboy that
shocked that they let me do that at the end of a sketch because we never really did that fourth wall shit, but it was a good way to get out of that. It's great. You like it?
That was always the trouble ending those sketches.
Yeah, you get into them and you gotta get out of them.
We had some good waiter sketches. Yes.
Oh, I like the horny waiter.
I like presentational stuff, and I think one of the early ones that Tom was in that has resonated, people are aware of it. So the song is Mr. Short-Term Memory.
Mr. Short-Term,
Short-Term Memory.
Michael. Yeah, that was
So the premise is completely up front. Everyone knows what's going on.
song.
And then that was one where I just thought maybe you were kind of the perfect cast, like to play that guy.
All right, so here's what I remember.
Yeah.
A perfect sketch, provided you did it with alacrity and didn't put a bump in it.
Yeah.
The dress rehearsal performance of it was so perfect that it did not live up to the actual air show.
I hate that.
And that when we come off, I think somebody did an imitation of, don't worry, it'll be perfect in the rerun. You know, meaning that they take the dress rehearsal and slide the dress rehearsal thing.
That's nice. As I got more used to doing SNL, sometimes I would peak at read through. Like I was going all out, and I never got back to it. In that last year, I was pacing myself the whole time, and really, even the dress show, make sure you're not doing it the best.
That happens on movie. That happens on movie read throughs. So I said, let's not do read throughs anymore, guys, because they're fake. You know, they happen on Bosom Buddies. They're just killed at the table.
Yeah.
Never.
When you get out there, it's not quite exact. Sometimes I remember at Michael J. Fox show, I was doing Michael J. Fox to him, and he started laughing, and it made the sketch so crazy fun. And then we did on air, and he didn't, and you just lost something. I'm like, I went and begged Shoemaker. I go, put the fucking rerun on, will you? Put it in the goddamn dress, and that's a tough one to get dressed.
So you got like you said earlier, Dana. You go to this incredible place, 30 Rock, and you're up on 17 for all the writing.
The whole thing.
And then the big thing happens, and the whole show transfers down to historic 8H. You know, where Toscanini had his own elevator, and they did the Colgate comedy. I don't know, one of the most famous.
Jerry Lewis would cut the tie off,
and then you're not playing Major League Ball. You know, the season, at the 8th year after the show, I have moments, not every movie, but I have moments when the shoot comes to an end, and I got to go through a physiological process of grieving, because we'll never come back to this place. And like if you do a play on Broadway, man, that thing is gone in the wink of an eye, and you've been there for 6 months.
All that work.
Your whole experience was about pacing yourself in order to peak at the right time, and if it happened, it was by magic, and if it wasn't, you were frustrated by it.
I've had cast members, Fred Armisen, call me or email me about this very thing. Mm-hmm. What do I do? When can I watch the show again and not think they're doing my show? And sometimes doing it maybe better than I did.
I have trouble watching it when I'm flush with memories of being hosting.
Yeah.
There's sometimes it just, man.
First of all,
there's nothing like being alive. Like, put me in, coach. I can play center field. Then put me in.
Tom, is there an eclipse in your house?
No, the sun is moving around.
You're like, the problem with mansions is we have so many windows. But Tom, what about
I'm in the smallest little cubby hole in mine. Here in the
I'd like to be a termite
in the Temple of Dender, the Fortress of Solitude.
I wish I'd stayed a few years longer, but in those days,
but you can't. I mean, there is this, it's like, Stan Musial, Sandy Koufax walked away from the game. I don't want to keep using sports analogies, but it's.
I love them.
At some point, you got to go. I could do it, but there's an aspect of it here that isn't going to be good for the.
Tom, when I left, and Dana, you can listen. When I left,
thank you.
You can hear what I tell Tom. That. It was starting with writing on yellow pads. We didn't have computers or anything, and learning how to write a sketch and going through that whole process of getting to where I could kind of write a sketch pretty well. I was never like a super SNL guy, but at least I got to the end where I kind of had my moments. And then when I left, the hard part was almost anything I did, first of all, was never as hard. And it was hard to find people that were as good per capita as everyone around me, because I had the writing of Jack Handy and Downey and Smigel and Conan and Bob Odenkirk and Greg Daniels. And then I got these guys. We came in, forget, me and Rock and Farley and Sandler and Timmy, but we've got Dennis and Dana there and love it. And they're fucking great. Yeah. Phil and Jan.
Mike Myers.
Yeah, Myers.
It's every season is some form of a murderer's row that you cannot create that atmosphere. When you come close, I mean, that's about the highest thing I could say. I felt that way about doing Broadway on Lucky Guy. We had 14 people in the cast, and I just said, this is as good a hang as SNL. This is the same kind of like group of people who are both merciless and filled with nothing but a brand of love and respect.
You kind of know it too, because you go, if I can even, because at first at read through, I was like, I just can't have my sketch be so shitty that everyone goes, what the fuck? I just want to blend in. I don't even want to get on. I just want them not to go, Jesus Christ. Hey, stand up. Who was this? Because I was new, and I my first sketch had 18 sets. No one even tells you. I'm just like,
don't do that.
And then they go, whose sketch is 27 pages? I'm like,
for the audition process, did you have to go and like hang out for like that afternoon with everybody in order to see if you could handle kind of like the environment?
Dana lived with
when
Lauren
you were still auditioning for it.
I auditioned in LA. I'd auditioned twice before. I followed Kennison at the Comedy Store and bombed for SNL lieutenants. And then
Who wouldn't?
It came around again in 86. I thought, I'll give it a shot. But I played a little club on the West Side that Rosie O'Donnell was headlining. And then I'm going on. I knew Lorne was going to come see me. Never met him before. And then in comes Brandon Tartikoff, the head of the network.
Ooh,
and
Tartar sauce.
Cher of Sonny and Cher.
Get
Whoa.
out.
So they sat down,
Sonny
and then
and
they go,
Cher.
now Dana Flarfo. So that was kind of
now ding dang bong.
All right. So you're talking about critics. Here's my question for you, Dana Carvey.
sure.
I can't remember when you told me this story, but we were comparing notes on San Francisco, and I had not lived there for a long time, but it really did become this kind of like hotbed of a type of stand-up comedy. Because what was the main venue there? Was it the Boarding House? Was that what it was called?
Well, early it was the Boarding House. Then the Punchline was the first comedy club that came in, and then we had the Intersection. Depends what era, but in the 70s, when I was at San Francisco State, it was mostly the Holy City Zoo on Tuesday nights.
Holy City Zoo, okay, yeah.
There was a few of them,
I'll say so, but now you are Dana Carvey, and you're playing the main room, whatever that thing was. The main, maybe it'd been the Golden Gate Theater, the Current, or something like that.
Yeah, the Great American Music Hall.
Great American might have been that. And here's what you said. I said, "Oh, are you still gonna, you'll go back and do that often in San Francisco?" And I said, "I used to, but I'm not going to do it anymore." And I said, "Oh, why?" And you told me this story. You performed in front of an absolute huge sellout crowd.
Yes.
You killed. You didn't. You left to like 17 standing ovations, screaming more, more, more. They wouldn't let you off the stage. You said, "I could not have had a better reaction from an audience at a stand-up comedy. It's one of the best shows I've ever done. I feel that deep inside my soul."
Right.
And the critic the next day wrote, Dana Carvey rehashes old material in pedestrian
bombs or whatever. Yeah, it was
whatever.
Horrible. Yeah, Gerald Nachman.
Okay, I didn't want of the San Francisco Chronicle, I'm guessing, right? And there you have it. There you have this other thing that goes into it. There was undeniably a huge, fabulous show that you just put on, and someone said,
I didn't know until recently that I was really always a sketch player, not a pure stand-up. And so it's a delicate environment for me. And when I play small clubs around LA sometimes, it's a different sport. And I was in a big room, and the more famous I got on Saturday Night Live over time, that was the first year, my stand-up got shittier and shittier.
Yeah, I get that.
Because I would, and then I was getting...
Because you come out and say, "Well," and everybody screams. Because it sounds like he's going to do the church lady.
I remember the first time I could do a college for a lot of money. It was like a year's salary from before SNL. But I hadn't done stand-up in 6 months, and you're looking at your notes, and you're getting so much money. But as your act is getting worse and worse, it's like they just cross over.
Well, remember that day of Shakespeare that we did? It's like you come in, we read it through, we stage it, and we perform it that night.
Jackson
my God.
Brown, Julia Roberts.
You were a man on fire. We did 12th Night or something like that.
I was with you out there. Who else?
You were, but no, it was like these moments where it was like, well, this is a fun thing. But wait a minute. Here's Elvis Presley entertaining us somehow. You just drove every scene of yours so deep. I think I might have ad-libbed something like, "You should work more often," or something like that.
I just remember you. But it's a fun premise, this idea we're doing Shakespeare, but we can also take these flights of fancy, change our voice.
Yeah, so it's not going to be work. You don't want people to sit there for an evening.
No, it's still, if you're still doing that, I'm around.
So David, you're done with SNL, and I remember you sort of like automatically being part of the zeitgeist, automatically showing up and working and being in things.
Well, Tommy Boy, right off the heels of SNL.
The Skinny and Fatty movie, sure, yeah.
Huge,
Tommy Boy was a couple years in, and then written. Lauren said to some writers, "Write the way these two are around the office." Spade's always poking him and making fun of him, and he's falling down and performing for him.
Oh, it really worked.
And that was exactly what the movie was, because I don't think we could pitch a movie saying two guys in Ohio sell brake pads. I mean, it's really the dumbest movie in the world.
That is the secret of any pitch. Never tell them what it's about.
Yeah, because people go, "What was that about?" So I think you were getting to the thing where I finished, and what was I doing next? And that was very hard because you don't know. And it was time late. I left a year late. I left after Adam and Chris, and Chris Rock was already gone. And Will Ferrell came in, who was perfectly pleasant, and he was fucking great. And I'm like, I feel like now I'm college, and there are high school guys coming in. I got to go to college. And I
got that.
I didn't really want to leave, but I didn't really fit in. And I thought Dana fit in more because we were all like buds. And I kind of just left. And then they said it was sort of, you could probably do your own show after SNL because they will give you one shot.
You'll get a shot.
You'll get a shot.
You'll get a
but
single
you
shot.
Don't even realize if that shot doesn't work. It's almost over. Like if you prove to them it doesn't work when you do your own show, then everyone scatters. You don't really think that yet. But I know after SNL, a lot of people go away. And so they go, do you want to be the fifth lead on this other show? But people like it, and NBC likes it, and Brandon Tartar Sauce likes it. And so they go, if that works, I'm already 90% there because they already like it. There's a good writer from Larry Sanders and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So
and you had a persona. You developed a persona.
And if I did my own show, I'd have to hire a Spade guy to run in and do jokes and leave. And it just was a good fit.
Yeah.
The safety of a quality ensemble. But you mentioned Chris Rock. This was a guy that, I mean, he just remained Chris Rock and ended up changing the art form in so many ways.
Yeah.
Without getting that kind of, here's the Chris Rock show, here's the thing, here's the movies. He just kept, being that kind of like poet laureate of stand-up. But I remember him as Nat X, the talk show host. The week that Andrew Dice Clay was on the show.
Yeah.
He says, Andrew Dice Clay, I got it. What does he say? I got a limerick for you. There once was a dude named Dice who looked like Don Johnson on steroids. Blah, 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 blah. My big black foot in your ass.
Yeah. When Rock left, he went to the back door of a stand-up special to come back, and he came back huge. We talked to him the other day, and
stand-up is, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
we
just
did
saying
talk to him the other day.
He was at the lowest part. He left SNL not feeling good about it, and then he went to In Living Color, and then they got canceled. And he was like, I was nowhere. And he goes,
hard to imagine In Living Color getting canceled, but I guess.
Yeah, he said when he went on, Damon or Keenan wasn't there, and it was just a ragtag crew. And so it had its greatness, and everyone just kind of jumped ship. So
did you see his documentary about hair?
No, I heard it was
because
great.
He's got daughters and stuff. Like, guys, it's mind bending. It's literally a window, a portal into a world that we don't know anything about.
Yeah. Yeah, his resume, because we interviewed him, and is massive. What he's accomplished and the chances he's taken and the specials he's done. Mm-hmm. It's exhausting. There's only one other resume that I read that made me had to take a nap, and that was yours.
That's just because I'm
look at these Tom Hanks movies.
Been around, man. I just
You're
been
like,
around.
but wait, there's more.
That's what it should say.
My wife and I watch Bridge of Spies. That's in our rotation.
Oh my Lord, that's
that's like a perfect movie.
I'm in the thing now. I'm able just to say now, that'd be a blast. Let me do that. I'm lucky in that way. And that was one of them. It was just played into every one of, look, I read that stuff for pleasure anyway, that type of history.
Yeah.
And I got to go back to Berlin. What was great about that movie is, we're talking, the whole thing is about the Bridge of Spies, which was this very specific bridge that in the day had a white line down the middle of it that said communist on this side, free world on this side.
Yeah.
And that's where we shot it. I mean, we were literally right there where all this stuff went down. You can do that somewhere. That was crazy great.
Crazy great. Greyhound, sorry, because it's so recent. Loved it.
Oh, Greyhound. See?
You must hear from people who just love. We don't get old-fashioned World War II movies enough.
Well, the thing I've heard that has been really very, very, very rewarding for both me and Aaron Schneider, who directed it, is we hear a lot from Navy guys.
I'll bet. Yeah.
Who all say no one bothers with the particulars of the Navy.
The North Atlantic.
But you guys did. Says that's the Navy, right?
And you captured the rudimentary technology, and you as the captain trying to decide, do we go left or right? The tension of that and the cold.
We had this problem when we started shooting it. We shot it in Baton Rouge. And it's like some form of, studio or whatever says, listen, what is the dog watch again? And what is mid watch? Well, that's the name of the replacing shifts, because everybody comes and stands their watch for 4 hours. He said, do we really need 4 watches? Can't we just have the same guys there all the time? And I said, well, you can, but then look what we lose. We lose the sense that Krause has been on the bridge that entire time. And then we only have the same faces over, and we don't have a sense of the passing of the days. He said, yeah, it's just really expensive to hire all those actors.
That's what it boiled down to.
Who's that guy? That's just AD guy. Hey,
I don't think people realize
production unit manager.
How hard it is to get a movie right, beginning, middle, end. You can read it, it's good. And then in the editing or in the casting or in some way it falls apart. And I think, like, even myself, I probably have only 30 movies that are great, top to bottom. And I think
I got 4. I'll say I got 4.
So I have 26 more.
I think 4 are pretty good. 4 are pretty good.
4? I can think of 4.
Yeah,
that's just
40.
from the early 90s.
That is always
Bachelor
something in there.
Party.
I think, look at that. Oh my.
Fucking Bachelor Party. Don't sleep on that.
Guys, I am driving with my wife. We've been married for a year, and we're in a car, and we're driving through the wilds of France and Italy. We stop at an autoroute place to eat. The Autostrada, the main highways in Italy, and it's like a Howard Johnson's. It's like this big place, except the cafeteria. It's the greatest Italian food you'll ever have, because in Italy they cannot serve bad food. They don't live that way. So we're having this fabulous feast of self-serve Italian delicacies, and there was a big bus outside that was, believe it or not, the Puerto Rican national baseball team that was going around playing exhibitions of American baseball by way of Puerto Rican players in Italy. And we're sitting there eating. I'm putting oil and vinegar, and one of the guys just, bachelor party.
Fuck yeah.
And this is like 7 years after bachelor party. And they said, we were just watching it in the bus.
Yeah, right.
They're driving around Italy playing baseball, watching bachelor party. In the
all
bus,
my movies were
7
for
years
buses
after.
of athletes. They would all say, we watch on the plane, watch on the bus, we watch when they were VHS.
Okay, all right. So let me tell you this story about one of the Here Comes the Mailman stories.
Okay.
Movies. Okay.
Yeah.
This is absolutely 100% true. This happened. All of our kids were little. And so Rob and Michelle Reiner and Rita and I say, hey, let's take the kids to Disneyland for a day. They're young enough to really enjoy. I said, okay, that would be great. So we work it out. We're all going down in the same car. The kids are so small they can fit in the way back. So there's Rob and me and Michelle and Rita and the kids. We spend the day at Disneyland, and then we're coming back up the 405, and we get stuck in, heavy traffic, and we're just slowly going along from here to there. Now, Rob and I appeared in Sleepless in Seattle. We had a bunch of scenes together.
Applause.
And we remember this is fine. And we've been friends more or less ever since. And as we're inching our way through traffic, here is one of those, it's the airport flyaway bus, You land at the airport and you can get on one of these buses and it'll take you to a terminal somewhere else, or vice versa. So there's a bunch of commuters on a bus stuck in traffic going to or from the airport. And it's one of these brand new major buses that is showing a movie on screens up, for everybody just to blow time. And you kind of edge up to the bus, then fall behind and go ahead of it. And the bus, we're just doing a do-si-do right next to each other in the same lanes. And Rob says, "Hey, they're showing Sleepless in Seattle on that bus." so this is hilarious. Maybe let's try to be next to this bus when our scene comes up, so we can watch it on the thing. So lo and behold, there's a scene where Rob and I are sitting in a coffee shop having a discussion about how to date, and there we are on the screen in the commuter bus, and some guy's watching it. So I leaned on the horn, honk, 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 until this guy hears something, and he looks down, and he sees Rob Reiner in the shotgun seat and me drive it. And we're pointing at ourselves and then pointing to the screen on his bus. And he doesn't quite get it for a while. And I guess he recognizes Rob, and he goes up, and then he's whip pants to the screen above, and then back down to us, and then back up to them. And I'm just like, how did that guy tell his wife about what happened in the bus? So, I'm watching this movie. Then all of a sudden the guy's in the movie in a car right now. So that's one of those surreal moments in a show business career that is equal to
he looks for Meg Ryan in the Jetta next to him.
Yeah, she wasn't there. Yeah. Where?
Sandler, when he was doing his movie with Jack Nicholson, I think Anger Management, he'd be driving and Jack would be in the passenger seat. They'd go to a stoplight and people would look at Jack, and Jack would just put his face quickly up against the window apparently and just go, ha! Just like it's scary.
What a star!
I don't want you staring.
You ever come up onto those open air tour buses that drive up and down Sunset Boulevard? We've been at a stoplight a couple of times. Honk the horn and say, "Hey, have you seen anybody great?" And then they all, "Oh my God!"
One time I got
to
this,
dress
Tom,
as Garth.
They go next to him and they go, and they're on there, and I'm like this, and they go, the guy goes like this.
David made a face.
Then he goes, that's it. That's all I got.
Gave the thumb. That's
this
it.
Guy.
Well, who knows? They probably just saw Matt Damon down at Doheny and Sunset.
That's true. I'm on Sunset a lot. So yeah.
He's fabulous.
All right. Okay. Let's let Tom go. I mean, I know we got fucking 50 more things, but Tom,
we could do this.
I know.
Constantly,
I love it.
Never. Let me just say one other thing about the SNL days, and this is about the cradle of creativity that it is. The first couple of seasons, first couple appearances that I was in, there were these three writers that shared a room in the back that was too hot. But between the three of them, they came out with 4 or 5 really, really great sketches. And I called them the Boiler Room Boys. Let's see what the Boiler Room Boys come up with in the back. They're like the junior executives, in charge of sales or something. And one was Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
And one was Bob Odenkirk, and the other one was Smigel.
Yeah.
So these guys were out there cranking out stuff that was, and that's why the experience is unlike any other in show business. You come across those kind of talents at the moments when the place where they're just proving themselves, and then the other place where they have proven themselves so much that it's like on Monday, say, "Yes, is there any way I could do the Being the Liar sketch?"
You know what's
really
good? 2021 is the first year that John Lovitz only drops your name once a day now.
What do you mean?
When we did the first season, and I knew he was from LA, and I knew he had been a messenger before he got the gig through the Groundlings, and I said, "Want to go have lunch?" So he and I just walked down to the Yoshimura noodle bowl restaurant.
I've been there.
And so 2 of us are just sitting there, eating our noodles, and John's already saying, "Yeah, that's the ticket," and I've got enough cred that I've been invited to host for the first time,
Wow.
And yet it was just, kind of like down there saying, "Hey, is this a pickle or what? Can you believe this kooky thing that's going on?"
Were you doing League of Their Own yet or not?
Oh no, that was long before League of Their Own. I think I had just done. I would say Nothing in Common, maybe.
Is that with
I
Gleason?
can't remember. No, yeah, I think the musical guest was Sade. Here's the musical guest I was on: Sade,
Solid.
Randy Travis, huge.
Springsteen.
Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians, Aerosmith,
Wow.
Springsteen, Tom Petty.
Fuck.
And I might be blanking. And the last time I did it was Lady Gaga, who rocked the house with
She's unbelievable.
with the first. Oh, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I did it with a Red Hot Chili Peppers.
How many times you do it?
You know, I lost
10.
count.
8.
I looked it up.
Well,
10.
between the reunion shows, I don't know if those things count.
No,
I
not
say
for
that
this.
if you are tasked with being in the monologue, you have hosted the show, and a couple of those
5-timer club.
That was a big.
Yeah. Probably 10 and then maybe 5 other
and change.
Change.
I think it's a big deal when you get up into double digits.
Yeah.
I think only you are second only to Steve Martin, maybe.
Well,
Not
no,
sure.
I think Baldwin is ahead of me, and also John
Oh.
Goodman. I think he's done quite
Goodman,
a few. You know,
he was on a lot.
My
Yeah,
second
he's
show was
great.
Baldwin's first show. Oh, that's great. We got to
Really?
go, Dave. Okay, so all right. Well,
One thing I
go
want
ahead,
to say,
Dana.
one thing about
final
the
thought from Dana.
the read through when hosts come in and are going to cold read 55 sketches for
It's
4
so
hours.
ridiculous.
the most exciting 6 hours in show
And
business.
people like you, John Goodman, Danny DeVito, I could mention a lot more, where you're listening to them cold read and watching their choices on the fly,
Yeah.
being just great.
It's like school.
So it's a real skill to be able to read that well, you know, and cold read. You know, the writer's going, Tom, as you go to the read through, you got to play it slow down at the end on the waiter. You know, you come in later. You know,
Or you're reading it wrong and you see the writer like this over there going,
Well, as you've hosted now, you then have been in Lauren's office immediately after the read through,
Yes.
and all 55 sketches are up. Their titles are on cards.
Yeah.
and just go through each one. Dana, Church Lady 6. Would you like to put that on again?
6.
Can we put it on?
Wayne's World
Church Lady
Photo.
6. Could we do that? Tom, Ant Commander. Jack likes it. That's, oh yeah, put it up there.
Can you send Jack Handy in? I want to see if he can tighten this sketch.
Okay, so one of the times I'm working with Jack Handy, and I know that he's one of the legends. You know, he'd been around SNL a long time, and he told me about. I also put out this kind of like goofy little magazine called Army Man. I said, "Oh, I'd love to read that," and so he hands me this essentially 5 Xeroxed pages that have been. That have been stapled together. So, well, here's my magazine. It's called Army Man. It was like funnier than a Mad Mag. It was like Mad Magazine condensed down to just lethal heroin quality hilarity.
He's a silent killer.
Really. I said, how is there a way to subscribe to this? He said, yeah, I can mail you a few. You know, literally folding it up, send it to you in the mail.
What a mind.
Hey guys, this has been great. I enjoyed the stroll down your lives, Spade and Carvey Avenue, right here at the intersection.
I'm going to say, with the risk of sounding show business sincere, this was a complete pleasure. Thanks, gang. Next week's guest is Daryl Hammond.
Okay, Dana, I'm wondering why no comedians have their book named Always On.
Right, because almost all comedians are not always on.
They're off.
Buddy Hackett would cry himself to sleep every night. Sid Caesar would go to the beach and go, should I swim out, boys? No, comedians have
Does that mean kill himself?
Yeah. Comedians have the ones that are always on cry themselves to sleep. Let's put it that way.
We do have a rap, we comedians, as being like sad sacks and like obviously damaged. But it's I hate it. It's sort of a running theme. It's not true.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think, having a rough childhood, maybe being on the kind of a little kid in school, you get a big old chip. Having a chip on your shoulder is good for the arts.
Yeah.
I'll show you, motherfuckers.
Well, there's a couple that come to mind that are very like internal in real life, but I have to say, you at least, I like to hang out with the ones where I don't have to extract the comedy from them. Like you're just very sort of the way you are anyway. I think I'm like that, and I like that easier than like pulling teeth to get someone to say something, a modicum of humor.
It's very interesting, the relaxation and confidence. Like, what is it kind of about? Like, if you walk in a room and it's like, say it's Lorne and Steve Martin and Alec Baldwin, and maybe just throw in Obama and you take a chair,
Obama's in there?
No, I'm putting a table
Okay.
that might intimidate you. And then how much can you be yourself?
No, it is hard. But sometimes I turn nervousness, I goose it up
do
and
more
I'm
jokes,
extra
yeah.
clowny. It's really
Well,
sickening.
David Spade, was that As Good as It Gets, or what was the name of that TV show? I thought you were the funniest guy in it.
Lauren goes like this, David Spade, and then they all look and I go, beep, bop, boop. I just go right into
You go right into
I don't even go, hey man, I go like this.
Bye-bye. I go, isn't that special? I want the ball. You, Dana, calm down. We don't need it.
Pull my string.
Just be, Michelle, be yourself.
Alec Baldwin, I'm excited about. Alec was in the room you just mentioned, that fictitious
at
room.
the fictitious, scary room. Alec Baldwin is a force of nature, man. He is a very, he played football in high school. He's a big guy. He's built strong.
He's one of 37 brothers. I know Billy Baldwin. I know Daniel Baldwin. There's Stephen Baldwin.
Yeah.
And there's
if you go to the
Baldwin.
town they grew up in and you just meet people at the store, I'm a Baldwin too. I'm a Baldwin. I know a Baldwin.
When I open my show, I go, any Baldwins here? A couple in the back?
Alec Baldwin. So we're really happy to have had him on the podcast because he has his own lane. I love that phrase. You have your own lane, I have my own lane. With his history of Saturday Night Live, going from movie stardom and loving Saturday Night Live and hosting it 17 times. He has the record.
Good guy.
And then many guest appearances, just regular cameos he did. And then he also did Trump for 4 years. We thought he's like, I like this word, a de facto cast member. He has a huge history with SNL, and we wanted to break that down. I'm also fascinated by the Baldwin brothers and where they came from and how do you have four sons like that? They're all kind of cool looking, and they have really cool voices. I'd like to meet the dad. Yeah, my kids are fine. I don't know where they came from. Genetics is strong. Am I doing this?
Yeah, because Alec and everyone's like, hey, listen, here's how it's going.
Alec Baldwin has the best voice.
Yeah, he's cool. Hey, he was my third show, Dana. How many shows were you on with him, do you think?
I think he hosted at least twice. It seemed like he was in the studio a lot, too, doing guest spots. So he was just around, and we'll talk all about how he made that pivot he still is a movie star, but he really, really loves sketch comedy. He said, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And he ended up being brilliant at it. So
he was
Tony
in
Bennett
Beetlejuice. He was in Glengarry, Glenn Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
What was that one?
Yeah. I am the Baldwin from the county. And I make
He was doing The Hunt for Red October when he hosted, and that's what he was. He was promoting that or Miami Blues or something. But it was great to meet him and watch him just be better than me immediately as a sketch player.
I know. His Tony Bennett is amazing. Yeah, he, as Lauren would say, he knows how to land a laugh. He knows his way around that.
Did I even comb my hair today?
It's called a hat,
didn't?
David. There's 4 right there.
God damn it.
Just punt on it. Just let it go. I just put
Heather,
this
get
on.
my comb.
Look, I'm not going to show this.
It's in
to
the comb
anybody.
room.
Kids would
It's on the
cry and
5th floor.
scream and run away. Why, Daddy? Why is his hair like that, Daddy?
God damn, yours is maybe worse, but you have a hat smartly.
Well, I work out and I sweat. It's a long story. I don't want to go into it now. Listen,
Jesus
David.
Christ, I did the whole thing like that?
Listen, David.
Heather, get the 12-way mirror.
Yeah, get the special
this.
spritz.
Beep, 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 beep,
Get the
beep.
special spritz, and I can tease that up. I know it's maybe inappropriate.
Only me and James Cameron have one. He practices Avatar and it beep, bop, beep, boop, boop, beep, beep, bop, 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 bop. I don't like to see myself from the side.
How do you practice?
I don't even see how they all look from every angle.
They're like,
I don't know what I'm saying.
they're in
All
the
right.
water.
Well, we had a lot of interesting things were said today. So
Yeah, this
Tune
one,
in.
Alec is not shy about having an opinion about everything in life. He's very interesting to talk to. And it was great to revisit all the Saturday Night Live stuff, all his great movies. He's quite a talent, an American original. And it was so much fun talking to him. I would listen to this one if I were me.
To sum it up, I've been to Aspen. It says on my shirt.
What are you getting for that? $100? Mm-hmm.
I work for Aspen.
Yeah.
No, I just like to let the world know.
Has been. You add an H to that? That's stinking thinking.
I've been to
You're
Aspen,
good
Colorado.
enough. You're strong enough, and gosh darn it, people.
That's like a roast joke. I think I saw you in Aspen.
What's the name of your special again? Personal Lives? What is it?
Nothing personal.
Oh, nothing personal. So anyway, Alec Baldwin, ladies and gentlemen.
Here he is.
I feel like I died and went to comedy purgatory here. This is great.
It's heaven.
Comedy purgatory.
Okay. Well, I think the jury's out. The jury's out.
Yes, we shall see. We shall see. But it is good
might
to
be
see
by the
you.
end of this show. You too. Good to see you.
Yes.
Good to see you, Alec.
You too. Right. I've been listening to the show, and I listened to the show when you guys do the promos at the beginning. Spade, you're very good. You're a very good pitch man.
Oh yeah.
Your voice is clear. You have the right emphasis. You're a born salesman.
Oh fuck yeah!
I have told him that from the beginning. He thought I was kidding. Like he has a voice, and it really cuts through. That's why I let him do most of the exposition.
He does. He should just stay away. He should just stay away from hair products. That's what he should stay.
Fuck. Don't even look at my hair today. It's really.
I can't. Your hair is like a boating accident.
I don't know what's wrong.
It's like fiberglass shards sticking out.
It's like a spider web. Yeah, I know. I'm fine. I was jealous. Of Alec Baldwin's hair. Pretty much from the get-go. Alec, I was just looking online to see, first of all, who you were, and secondly, I think you were my third show. I was a writer, and it was your first show, and so it was either my third show. I think the second one was Dice Clay, and I think you were third. Do you remember this? Does that make any sense?
I just remember when I met you, I was terrified. When I met you, I was terrified.
Why?
Well, because you come from that school of like Letterman and other people where if you get into the comedy thing, it's like log rolling. Oh. If you try to be sharper than them or as funny as them, or you try to like battle wits with them, you know who's going in the water. I'm going in the water.
Oh, that's nice of you to say.
And you're so clever. Like Dana is warm and kind of does all these silly characters.
Yeah.
And Spade, you terrified me. Whenever you would walk in, I would like stiffen.
No, that's so
wow. Well, he's going to dine out on that.
I thought I'm going in the water today.
Well, see, right. He's like a combination. He's got some Dennis in him, that sort of wit and cunning.
Dennis,
he can
Letterman,
from love.
Ellen DeGeneres. Yeah. Ellen DeGeneres. Sharp.
Yeah, it is true. I am. Yeah. I agree. Thank you, Alec. When you came to host, I was very nervous just because, first of all, honestly, you weren't the biggest star there because you were starting out, but we had just seen Hunt for Red October. They also sequester the writers to see a new product from the host, and that was, I think, Miami Blues.
Right.
And we watched that. And so you just could tell, I've said on other podcasts, you knew Alec was a star. You walk into that meeting, I think you had a black turtleneck, good looking, good hair, which I'm furious
incredible
about.
hair.
Yeah. And then good voice, just too much going on, angered me. And then very cool, like the show.
Attacked.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah. I really laid down on that one.
Attacked.
Well, in the first week, I never said this before, Victoria Jackson, then the second time you hosted, I've never said it to Alex. She said, I'm not going to do it this week. I'm not going to do it this week. And I said, well, what are you talking about? I'm not going to fall in love with him. Yeah. Speaking of you. And then by Friday.
But what's funny? Yeah.
Go ahead. But by Friday, she said, he looked at me with those blue eyes. I fell in love again.
She didn't realize I'd already fallen in love with Hartman. I wasn't in love with Hartman.
Yeah. The great Phil.
But you know what's funny is, as you know, is that when I first came on, you have to make a decision, or you have to recognize something, which is either you come on and your career is so iconic, like Stallone or Schwarzenegger, where they're going to make fun of you as you, or you do your best, with varying degrees of success, to just become a member of the company and do the sketches. And it's not really about you and sending you up. It's you need to be a part of the group. And so when I came on, that's when I realized that I'm not Schwarzenegger, and you can't lampoon my essence. So I just thought I would try to be one of the gang there. And I always came back. People say, "Why did you host so many times?" I said, because that was really in the beginning, the heyday of me doing films. I mostly, like all the 90s, I did movies.
Yeah.
And I said, movies are challenging. Movies can be challenging, but they're so fucking boring. It's unbelievable. I mean, you're bored to death. And I said, I went back to SNL all the time because it was fun. I wanted to have fun, and it was fun.
Yeah. I think maybe that comes from him doing plays, Dana, because I think, Alec, I've read you really like doing plays, and that's another version of doing a play in a way. You're live, you're with other people, you're playing off everybody. It's happening right then.
But now that I have 7 children between the ages of 9 and 8 months,
And 80.
I'm dying. I'm going to sign a deal to do a play for like the next 10 years. So I'm going to be gone every night. I'm sorry. I'm in the car at 5. I got to be at the theater early. I like to prepare.
You do have a bit of a cheaper by the dozen vibe going.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's good, but you came from 6, so it's thematic in a sense.
Do you come from a big family?
5.
You're one of 5. And you grew up again? Where did you grow up? Sausalito? Where are you
Well,
from?
Montana, but then grew up basically on the peninsula, south of San Francisco.
Yeah, I thought you were from the Bay Area.
Yeah, middle class, stacked kids, 2 years apart, like the Baldwin boys, pretty much. Or is that?
I guess that kind of, because you do have a very 415 vibe about you. You're very 415. I think you are. You have that vibe. 415.
I don't know.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is very 415.
I'm laughing like Kamala. But you said, here, to your point a second ago, when you came on the show, to me, you were a star already.
Yeah.
But you acted exactly like we have a new cast member this week. And you said to me, because you'd done the big submarine movie, and I said, you were kind of going, I don't know about these movies. And you go, I go, what do you want to do? I just met you. We're on the soundstage rehearsing. I want to do this. I like doing this. You think I want to be on a submarine and go aye captain for the rest of my life? Fuck that.
Yeah.
So
well, Well, the shit with that is I used to say, oh, I'd love to be in the cast. I'd love to be in the cast. This is the most fun. And then when the Trump thing came and I was in the cast.
Yeah.
I was in and out in 5 minutes. I was in and out in the first 5 minutes. But I was there the first 2 seasons. The first season I did every show. Second season I did nearly every show. Third season less than second season like half. But like that period I was there, I was like, boy, do I regret wishing that I was in the cast.
Wish came true.
Yeah, well, that's with kids on a Saturday night. That is a big deal because it gets you on that late schedule. You're gone all day on that Saturday rehearsing. So yeah, that's a tough one.
I think when I finished SNL, the Trump thing in 2020 when he lost, I still had 3 less children than I have now. I've had 3 children since then. So
you have a kid every Monday.
Well, do you want to make an announcement, Alec?
Spade is like, ooh. No, wait. Do either of you have kids? You have kids?
Yes,
you have kids.
2 boys. Yeah.
I have
Spade, you have kids?
I have 1 daughter, and I grew up with 2 brothers. Dana, you only had brothers too, right?
No, I have a baby sister, 4 older brothers.
I don't really even know Dana.
But Dennis Miller would say something like, Christ's sakes, okay, the progeny's increasing at an exponential rate in the Baldwin household. I say.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's like, this is my project. I really mean it. This is the thing.
Shit.
I get a job and I'm like, if it's a week, like come to Vancouver, shoot a movie. Your character's dead on page 5 of the movie. I'm like, great, I'm there. Fly out.
Can I do 10
I do
weeks?
a couple scenes.
So it's kind of like a flip. But have you seen so far that the siblings are raising each other? It's a clan. It's a brood. And there's the mom and the dad. But the siblings, as they go along, are doing a lot of shenanigans and play. I mean, it's a pretty incredible dynamic to watch.
Well, we had a girl, and then we had 4 boys in a row.
Wow.
And then we had 2 girls. And the boys are, they're boys, man. So it's like you come in their room and one of them standing there out of the shower going, my penis, my penis, my penis.
That's what I do.
And not only are they singing a song about it, it's a bad song.
By the way, I think they're still young. They're not really pulling their weight yet, right? They're not doing as many chores and babysitting as you'd like.
Well, I love the line when you guys were talking with Sherry and Terry. And Spade says, we didn't get cars on the show like you, Dana. You're being carted around like Meghan Markle.
He is our Meghan Markle. Jesus,
I love that.
Guy.
And my kids have a little Meghan Markle coming. They're getting carted around.
It's hard to stay rich though with so many kids. I have, it's just tough out there because everyone's in a more spoiled world than we grew up in. Because when I was a kid, I would think, oh, in the summer in Arizona, I bet everyone's having a lot of fun. They drove to San Diego or something. But now with Instagram, you have concrete photographic proof everyone's having more fun than you. They're like in Ibiza and Italy. I'm like, wait, they're in Europe now? Like everyone's...
I think the change for me is going to be that like next summer, we're going to start to go overseas and go away, as opposed to our standard. We have a house on Long Island and we just got a place in Vermont. And I'm like, I don't want their summers to be just like tennis camp and all that bullshit. So we're going to take them overseas next summer for like 5 or 6 weeks and rent a house. And
we did that. We did that in Italy.
Where'd you go? Where?
San Casciano di Bagni. It's in Tuscany. It's about 90 minutes outside of Rome, I guess. And, you said
di Bagni? You went to a bathhouse with your
San
family?
Casciano di Bagni. There was an incredible spa there with I'd never seen a spa like that with hot water coming down on you. But I'll be honest with you, it was a bit rough on the kids at a certain point. They were not excited. All they wanted to do was catch air off statues and stuff, like skateboarding, Tony Hawk stuff. I could catch so much air off that. And when they saw the statue of David, they turned purple. Just this giant naked statue. They just thought it was the funniest thing. So there was a bit of that, but I think getting them out there is cool. I think that the girls might appreciate it more than the boys. I don't know.
We're gonna go overseas to Europe next summer, and we're gonna plot that out because obviously it's a big crowd. And
where are you going? Because I want to tell the paparazzi. Can you just hit me with your I-10?
Yeah,
I'll text you.
CC me. Thank you.
I'll CC you. Yeah, but I want to before I forget this, which is it's so funny to talk to you two guys. And Dana, people would say to me, years ago, 2016. I mean, that's 7 years ago. So I start doing the Trump thing, and of course, Lauren says it's going to be 3 shows. Don't be 3 shows.
Oh, 3.
That's Lauren. Yeah.
He's gonna you do a great one. So he says it's 3 shows and it's out because he's gonna lose. So it's just gonna be 3 shows. So I come in, I do the 3 shows. I'm laying in bed. We fall asleep. We don't have a TV in our bedroom, but I got my computer. And we fall asleep, and I wake up at 3 a.m. I check. It says Trump won. He won.
Oh boy.
And I wake my wife up, and I go, Trump won. My wife literally groans and rolls over and goes back to sleep. And I sit there and go, now I got to do this fucking thing for the next 4 fucking years. But you, Dana, I'm not just saying this to be polite. I mean, you were a huge inspiration for me because I'd show people Bush. Mm-hmm. I'd show Bush and I'd say, now watch this. And you'd be like, Nagada. You do all that phonetics.
Yeah.
You do those insane phonetics with him. Mm-hmm. And I'd say, that's it. I go, you make your own character.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be some precise.
No.
I mean, I do the worst Trump impersonation of anybody in America. But the idea was, I thought to myself, what does he deserve? I mean, he doesn't deserve. I'm a Brendan Gleeson doing the Comey movie. Doing the Comey movie with Jeff Daniels. It's like,
but I could do pencil necks, not even literal pencil necks, but I could do Bush Sr. and I could do Perot. But for Trump, it'd be hard. But you did have this. You brought this hulking Trumpism to it, that was just innate.
I just thought, what did he deserve? He's a 2-dimensional guy. And I said, and everybody doesn't understand that, infinitely better than I do, that you're firing the cannon on a live show.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in front of a live audience and TV cameras.
Yes.
And I just thought to myself, in acting school, they'd say, watch the performance with the sound off. Mm-hmm. Yep. So we'd watch the sound off and you'd see the person you were imitating or emulating in whatever way with the sound off. And with Trump, it was always like, stick your mouth out like you're going to suck the windshield out of the car. Hold your hands up like you're waiting for someone to hand you a towel. I mean, like they're like this. And but a lot of what I said, I showed people your Bush. I said, look at this. I said, he's doing his own thing. He's come up with his own thing.
Well, because we didn't know. We didn't know what there was after Reagan, bumbling Reagan. It was like a technocrat. It was like a flat voice. There was nothing there. And then kept teasing out little rhythms, going in that area, that thing, and then taking it from not going to do it to not gotta do it. But the audience took it with me. But I wanted to ask you the terror until you get used to it of the whole studio is the only time it's quiet is right before the cold opening. everybody's freezes. In the
Yeah.
other sketches, there's movement and slats moving around.
15 seconds.
Yeah.
9 seconds.
And then you have all these jokes to land. So I remember at one point to myself, I said, think of the script as suggestions. Because I would get, and when the script was too long, I'd say, I feel like I'm doing homework now, Al. It's too many jokes. I'd rather do less and be playful. But how did you deal with all that pressure? Because it's all quiet. And here comes Alec doing Trump. You know, it's scary that doing the.
No, I mean,
open.
I'm standing there on the stage, and we're gonna do the dress.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying this to be amusing or whatever. We're standing there to do the dress, and I go, I have no fucking idea what I'm gonna do. I have no idea. All I know is I got to stick my mouth out like this, and put my hands up, and say, and then try to do just do the whole. And he's a guy who. Back then, in the early days, we had this gag where it was like he was a guy who was always groping for a stronger word that he never found. So he'd say, I went to this event with this crowd. It was a fantastic crowd. This crowd was truly, truly fantastic. You know, like he just loops back. He's not a lot of verbal muscularity.
He never runs into a ditch because he has these little phrases. Many people are saying, many people, you're going to see it. We're going to do it because we know how to do it. We know where we're going. And a lot of people don't want us to do it, but we're going to do it anyway.
Now, when Spade, when you did your TV show, how many seasons was Just Shoot Me? How many was that?
Just Shoot Me was 148 episodes. I think it was 6 full seasons. Maybe
6
7.
full seasons. That's great. I would love to do another TV series. I swear.
Thank you for pulling it back to me. Because when Dana showed me his bush, it was in his dressing room.
Good night. No, I just wanted to say about 30 Rock because this is something I just didn't really know the breadth of the awards for sweet Alec for the 30 Rock. 3 Emmys, 3 Golden Globes, and 7 SAG Awards.
Too many.
Most in history. I think it's a little over the top, but I mean that that's insane. 7 SAG Awards.
When I won like the 4th or 5th time, I'm in like we're next to Tina, we're at a table. You're with your cast at the table. And they go, and the winner is Alec Baldwin. I looked at Tina. I was like, "Now, come on!" I mean, like, Jesus Christ. Where's the originality in this balance?
Well, it's also your peers. I mean, I got 1 Emmy, but a SAG Award. That's all actors giving you the award. Is that did you feel kind of okay, guys? I mean, I appreciate you.
I was very grateful. You know, 30 Rock was something where the first season, I didn't want to do a TV series of because I wasn't sure. You know, it's like, as we all know, it's like what's going to come up 6 years if it runs 6-7 years from now. So, but I did it. I did the pilot, and I go, "Oh, yeah, this isn't bad." I mean, and I knew I wasn't funny. They're funny because they write. To me, I've never said I was funny or a comedian because I don't write. You're a comedian when you write your material. You're funny if you write, like Tina and Carlock and Reggie and all that. But I went in there and just tried to play. People said it was Lorne. He wasn't really Lorne because this is a guy who he just is very unself-aware. I wanted to play a guy that was completely unself-aware. Like he walks into a room and doesn't realize how he's coming across.
It didn't strike me as much Lorne. You're right. And also those TV shows, yours, first of all, it's in town, which is a gift. You don't have to go to LA. Second, you probably wouldn't have done it if it was not in New York. But mine was a sitcom, which is easier hours. Yours is like shot like a movie. So some of those days can get really hard.
Yeah, it was very tough on the crew, but we kept it pretty cool. It was because the joke was that Tina wanted to shoot everything she wrote. So if your character's sitting down there and Jane Krakowski says, "What was your date like last night?" She go, "Well, whip, show the date. You don't describe it. We don't describe anything. We shoot everything. We show it. We don't tell. We show." Now, when you did your 4-camera, what studio were you at? Where were you?
I was at CBS Radford in the Valley.
You at Radford?
Yeah.
Same as Will and Grace. Yeah, with Will and Grace.
Will and Grace came on a year after us, or 2 years after us. Then they followed us on the schedule. But we were around when it was very tough. It was Seinfeld, it was ER, it was Friends, Frasier, Will and Grace. So it was tough. Veronica's Closet was the only one we were beating, I think, because we were still in like the top 15, but you can't keep
love Veronica's
you can't keep
Closet.
up with Seinfeld. These shows are monstrous even years later. So we did a good job, I thought, and I really liked it, and it was a super fun experience. But it's hard to get that again. I think we got canceled because we only had about 40 million viewers or something.
Well, the thing is I always tell people, like, when you have a fantasy, I'll never forget. I was parsing myself, and we were talking about a fantasy work situation, and this guy and I start to go, well, and I'm hedging. The guy goes, Alec, it's a fantasy. He said, have it exactly the way you want.
Oh yeah, make it up.
And for me, my fantasy is I'm doing the Jack Nicholson show. I'm coming out there. Me and Audrey Meadows come out. We blow a kiss to the audience. How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody good? All right, I understand we have a birthday in the house. And they wheel out a cake. And there's a 90-year-old lady in the front row. Mrs. McGillicuddy, everybody join me. Happy birthday. We sing. She blows out the cake. Now, for the following week, we do the same fucking thing again with Mrs. McGillicuddy is there. It's her birthday again. I just wanted to have like a good time. I wanted to have a good time. And I don't want to do the 4-camera. So I went off to go do the thing with Kelsey. We're going to do this sitcom with Kelsey. And I remember standing there. I'm literally standing on the edge of the set with Chris Lloyd and Vali, Chandrasekhan, and Kelsey was nearby. And I go, do you guys notice something about this set? And Chris Lloyd goes, what? I go, well, this guy has a lot of money. His wife has a lot of money. And his wife just left him. And I said, and there was an feminine touch in this whole room, and everything looks like it's from West Elm. It's all very inexpensive shit.
West Elm.
And Chris was like, yeah, that's interesting that you say that. I thought, we're not going anywhere. They're never going to cut this fucking time. You know? The set was like, anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We're going nowhere. We're not even leaving the gate, let alone getting on the runway.
This looks a little too Crate and Barrel to get picked up.
I've been in a lot of bombs.
Have you?
Oh yeah, I did a lot of pilots. I did a pilot because I was thinking about that comedian thing. Folklore has it that Lucille Ball didn't really write much, but you'd give her something and she'd create magic, obviously. But I did a pilot with Desi Arnaz Jr. called Whacked Out, and we're shooting the pilot and we're bombing. And then all of a sudden I hear a voice on the other side of the studio going, "What's wrong with you people? This is funny." And it was Lucille Ball in her later years. So Desi just kind of went, okay, mom's here. And then a huge line formed so that people could get her autograph. But the pilot didn't work. But he was very proud of his dad, a super nice guy, Desi Arnaz.
You live in LA? You're both in LA right now?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, right now I'm at a farm.
A bunker? You're a bunker?
A farm in north of Santa Barbara.
Acreage.
Here's your quiz. Yeah, here's your quiz. What movie is that?
That's Reds. I just watched it the other day.
Jeez.
Other day?
Damn, I love that.
Yeah, I just watched Reds the other day.
You did?
And not only did I watch Reds the other day, I'm being very rude now. The moment I finished watching the movie, I hung up the phone and I called Warren and I talked to him about it for an hour.
Well, why is that rude? That sounds amazing.
No, I mean, I'm not much of a star fucker name dropper, but it was like,
but Warren is so mellow.
He's so rich, his mind. You know what I mean? He's a really, really
brilliant.
Fascinating guy.
How did you saw it when it came out? How long had it been since you'd seen it, and how did it affect you? I've
probably seen it one of the times since it came out in 1980. I'd seen it before because I was always hooked on. I was really hooked on the witnesses, on the testimonials. I love that technique where they had the real people talking, then they cut to the dramatization. And, I'm watching movies now where it's like, I don't mean to be so cliched about it, but it's like things you're just never going to see again. It's like movies now are like, I mean, every movie I do now is like, me and Marlon Brando trapped in an elevator for an hour. Like, no sets, no costumes.
Oh, because
I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is true, but I was told that Jack Nicholson he had sort of a thing for Diane Keaton, and he wrote a very, very personal, revealing letter, and he puts it in the book that he gives to her in that scene to create all this sort of tension. But I thought he really stands out as Eugene O'Neill. The whole movie is brilliant. Who would make a movie like that about the Soviet Union?
I was told he was in a wardrobe fitting, and he dropped his pants and said, my penis. Well, you didn't hear that?
The thing
what is that hat you're wearing?
Oh, it just says Midnight Toker. It just got too bright. I don't know why it got pick up right in here. Midnight Toker, Alec, you know that song.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just a stupid
in
fucking
a Midnight Joker. But anyway, Reds. We had not talked about Reds on this podcast, so that's a bucket list for me.
Let's talk about movies. What? Give me 5 of your favorite performances, male or female. What are 5 movies where the acting to you is so unexcelled?
Butch and Sundance. I saw recently.
I have
Butch Cassidy and Sundance. No, I'm not kidding, Alec.
No. That's I'm not. Listen, Dana. Chris. David. You're being very sensitive.
Chris.
I was going to say Veronica's Closet. Veronica's Closet is
Veronica's Closet. There's a movie there.
That's top shelf.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Joe. Go ahead, Dana. You first. Give me 3 performances.
Jesus.
Men and 3 by women. Give me 3 by men.
Jesus, 3 by men, 3 by women. Oh my God.
Essential.
Oh. I just saw a documentary on Katharine Hepburn. So on Golden Pond, she got me I was very emotional about her performance in that.
I heard your Henry Fonda impersonation, by the way, the other day on the show. I listened.
What show was I doing?
Quite a few shows. On this show, on the podcast.
I don't remember doing it on this show. Gee, I remember a fella like Alec. I do too.
You listening? I'll name him. You want one great film performance?
Yeah.
Yes.
Two great male performances embedded in one film.
12 Angry Men.
Incorrect.
Okay.
Incorrect.
All right, but a good guess. All right.
Because that's 12 good performances. The Fail-Safe and Larry Hagman in Fail-Safe.
Oh God, what a brilliant movie! Yeah,
Larry Hagman as the interpreter.
Henry Fonda.
Great acting.
I want to know what he's. I don't want to hear what he's saying. I want to know what he's thinking. They're trying to prevent a nuclear war, and Larry Hagman is the interpreter. Do you know the movie, David?
I do. I think they redid it.
Yeah, but then it probably wasn't very good. I want to ask Alec a question. Well, go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt.
Let's finish our list. Well,
I just want to insert one thing here. My wife and I have a really a love affair with a few movies with one actor. He's not considered a great actor, but the movies are touchstones for us. 3 Days of the Condor. All the President's Men.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think The Way We Were. Those movies are movies you can watch a lot. I also loved, Ordinary People that he directed. I just sort of have a thing about Robert Redford as a producer too. And
Alec's not giving it up at all.
No,
but I mean, Redford, of course, is of a certain stripe where it was discouraged. It's like Cruise doing Magnolia. Cruise does Magnolia. He blows everybody away. He's nominated for an Oscar, I believe. He doesn't win.
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody knows that Cruise in Magnolia is the greatest acting he's ever done in his life.
Yes, give it up.
And then when he's done with that, when he's done with revealing these darker edges of himself, his agents and producers and his I mean, this is my supposition. Yeah. They sit him down and they're like, "Okay, are you done now? Did you get that out of your system?
For sure.
Are you happy now?" It's like Julia Roberts. It's like Julia Roberts in Mary Riley. Someone sits her down with Malkovich. They do the origin story of Jekyll and Hyde, and she does Mary Riley. And someone sits her down and says, "Now, whatever you do, this patented signature smile of yours, you're not going to smile or laugh one fucking frame of this movie. Don't you dare!
Right?
We're going to go the complete opposite." So they do the movie, and same thing. She's in a hotel restaurant. They're going, "Are you done now? Okay,
now
you got it. Now you finished. Let's get back to
bring back those 200 teeth, and we're gonna." Go to
well, John Wayne played Genghis Khan for one movie. That's all you need to know about. Let's say, hey Duke, we're gonna go get back on the saddle here, okay?
All right, Alec, I got one.
All right,
it's Courtroom, The Verdict.
Okay, there's Paul Newman again. So
that's a good one, right?
There's Newman with Lumet.
Mm-hmm.
Who, I just came today. I drove up to Vermont yesterday and came back from Treat Williams Memorial Service because Treat died.
I know.
As you probably know. And I was talking to the crowd there and I said, here's a guy who, you go watch Hair. And here he is, the Dionysian love god, the rock god. He's dancing on the table. He's so fucking amazing. And within a couple of years, he does Prince of the City. And I said, you got to understand movies in New York, especially in Lumet, the great, great film directors at the peak of their talent. I said, we're in Vermont. And I go, the line of actors who wanted to be considered to play the lead in Prince of the City or any great male role in a Lumet film, that line goes all the way to fucking Albany. Everybody in New York wanted that part. Everybody. And Treat got that role. And with Newman, he knew, like, there's my chance to dig down. Now, the Oscars were in 83. I drove cross country for the first time to live in LA. I drive to LA. We're there. We have an Oscar party. And Ben Kingsley wins for Gandhi. David's going to go. He's fine.
No. Settling in.
Ben Kingsley wins for Gandhi. And I've always said that those people who win for biographical films of living people, they bring the mantle of that person into the room too. So I'm not as excited. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Are you giving an Oscar to Ben Kingsley's performance, or are you giving an Oscar to Gandhi?
Mm-hmm.
So when Newman lost in The Verdict, which I think is one of the greatest 25 performances of all time, we like threw our beer cans at the fucking TV. We were like screaming in outrage. But you're right. The Verdict, great fucking and James Mason. I use it. The money pays for my whiskey. My whiskey. I loved him, James Mason.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of De Niro in Raging Bull, just as a performance? That's a pretty.
Well, De Niro is someone who is
he's got a bunch of them, but yeah.
Well, he's very gifted, but he also has the great. I mean, he'd be the first to say he has the great good fortune, especially during the genesis of his career, of being part of a battery with a great director. Raging Bull isn't Raging Bull because of Bob. Raging Bull was Raging Bull because of Bob and Marty.
Oh yeah,
and Michael Chapman. Sure. I mean, the way they shot it, the way they cut it.
Yeah.
I mean, Marty's. I did a small part in The Departed. I did a small part in The Aviator with Leo. And I mean, you're just you're like high. You're so fucking thrilled to be in
The Departed by itself on its own is
what's that? Could you describe for a second what it's like to be on a set with him? Is it just because he's so focused, so likable? What is it about being around him and being directed by him?
Well, you get from him. Maybe I'm superimposing this, like he kind of telegraphs to you that we're going to do your scene here where you're outside the door, and I got a pipe, and I'm talking to Leo through the door.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Howard, it's Juan. And he's naked and he's pissing in the jars and he's in the other room. And with Marty that you're smart enough, or at least you're smart enough to know it ain't about you. So let's get 4 or 5 good takes, get your pipe lit, get your lines down, get your angle to the camera. How are you going to play? You're kind of the door is here. You don't talk to a door because it's not the person. So you're kind of playing out. And you're doing everything you need to do, and you want to get it over with quickly because you know that Marty wants to get in the room with Leo for the rest of the day. Leo naked, pissing in the bottle. Leo with the matted hair. You get it. It's not about you. It's not about you. So you want to be efficient, and then they go off and they go like with The Departed. We did The Departed, and it was like Jack and Matt and those guys. They were the stars of the film. I just came in and I played my little notes. You know what I mean? That's it.
Just like a rat. I remember when Nicholson went for that rat face. That's very bold in that moment in The Departed. But
what's your favorite Nicholson movie? Hard to say, but I got one.
Go ahead,
boy. Go. Let me hear yours. Maybe I'll. If you're right there with
now that I was going to say,
I'll tell you if you're right.
Of course you will.
He's a mind reader.
Of course you will.
Go ahead.
What is the name? Now I'm blanking out because of you guys.
5 Easy Pieces.
No, that's close. I like that movie. And not Chinatown, although I love Chinatown.
Not Chinatown. Love Chinatown.
How much better can you eat? What can you have that you don't already have? The future, Mr. Getz.
John Huston impression from Alec Baldwin.
My favorite story he told me, Jack, was that he's on the set and it's Polanski and Huston and Jack. And they're shooting these scenes between the three of them. And he said that there's Polanski holding forth and he's talking and talking and talking. And finally, he's finished talking. And he said that Huston pronounced his name Roman. He called him Roman. And he said that Huston looks at Polanski and says, now, Roman, there are really only 2 directions. A little more and a little less. And I thought, you want to know something? You're fucking right. You're fucking right. It is.
Yeah.
Right. Wait, let you guys say something while I look up this.
Okay, Jackson. I got an offshoot one while you're Googling.
You tell me if it's me or me. Go ahead.
No, this is a different one. This is Poba Greenwich Village with I ain't gonna be a fucking T-boy. A bedbug Eddie?
With Eric
What's your
Roberts.
favorite?
Eric
Yeah.
Roberts. That's a good performance. It's a little not the obvious one, right?
My favorite.
Don't skim it. You're skimming me.
You know what?
I wanna
Okay.
find this.
How
Hold
about
on.
Deer,
No, I'm gonna
Deer
get-
Hunter for him
In
and
fairness.
Walken? Deer Hunter for De Niro and Walken. This is this. You do a great De Niro.
My favorite Nicholson is Ironweed.
Ironweed with Meryl
Oh.
My
Streep.
favorite Nicholson.
Yeah,
No.
he probably
That movie makes me sob every time I
Yes.
sob. I'm gonna watch that tonight. Ironweed.
I was gonna see it, but I was sick that day.
Do De Niro? No, I'm not gonna do De Niro because you're probably doing better. Than
No, I don't do a De
No,
Niro.
Dana does not.
I don't go in places where someone's
Oh,
already.
you know what, Alec? Alec,
what-
when you did De Niro, you're the one that was doing little bit?
Well, we would do
Little bit.
my favorite was we did the
Joe Pesci show?
we did the mock we did that on Pesci, but the other thing was the mock opening of Goodfellas. And they I took I love going home to my neighborhood in Massapequa. I didn't do De Niro, I go my own neighborhood in Massapequa. And it was Frankie the Fish, and it was Louis the Limp, and then they get to the guy that goes, and it was Tommy 6 times because he said everything 6 times. So I'm gonna go get the papers.
Fuck. I was in that cold opening. I was out of focus Jimmy.
You were out.
Out of focus, Jimmy. Oh my god, that's hysterical.
I remember I just saw this on like Instagram. They pan around like every fucking person in the cast is in it. And they go around, everyone's got a different bit to do.
Well, when I go back to archivally and watch stuff,
Oh.
I mean, I watched when I first came on there, and it's like, very little of it stuff I'm in, except when we did the stupid thing. The only time I ever cracked when we did the show, and I think this was really the only time, was with Hartman, and we did this thing called the environmentally sensitive one, which was a take on the Wild One. And I played this Marlon Brando. And one thing I do is Veronica, Victoria Jackson's there, and they have her all dressed, and her boobs are like 2 garbage cans sticking in her face. And she has a little sweater on her. And I walk up to her, and she goes, "Can I come with you, Johnny?" I take her sweater, and I go, and I pull it down, and I go, "Yeah, you can come with me." You know what I mean? Like I have to get a good look at it.
Yeah.
So I ripped the sweater off. But then in the end, Hartman had played the lines like every masterful actor. He played the lines and threw them away until the end. And we do the air episode, and the guy says, "Boss, we got to go." I'm going to ride off with his daughter into the sunset, and he owns the chemical company. And I go, and his henchman comes and goes, "Boss, we got to go. Tank number 7's blowing too." And all of a sudden, Hartman, who'd thrown the line away, turns around with this perfect whine in his voice and grabs my lapels and goes, "Take me with you." He just did this. I'll never forget.
I heard
spit.
Phil for a second. That's really
Take me with you. He just did this horrible whine in the line, and I literally fucking cracked up.
So good.
In the air show.
Yeah,
He wasn't. Don't you love him? Oh,
we're
Phil,
going to
unbelievable.
do a tribute show to Phil to talk about his greatness. In September, it's 1 or 2 dates at the Groundlings, but you could zoom in and talk to us about him.
If you want to say anything nice.
Bill Hader and Will Ferrell, so many people have mentioned him as a touchstone and just the guy who could do anything, and we miss him. And so I just heard him for a second, and I got a little emotional. You captured it.
The Sinatra Report.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah. I got chunks of stool bigger than you guys, or whatever. It's just...
Luther Campbell, he turned to Chris Rock, "Can't understand the word."
No, I can't. I'm just getting pops and bangs over here. Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, when I go back and look at the show, that's what I look at. I look at this fucking, like guys who could really, Will and Sherry and Kevin.
Shit,
Yeah, you guys, Hans and Franz. My kids love Hans and Franz. They think that's fucking hysterical.
That's very flattering at this point.
No, they do. Yeah. Oh, my kids. I watch my show. My kids SNL all the time.
If you like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if you like it.
What about you with the bad soap opera guy? You've got Canker. Remember this
The
is when
Esophagus.
this might be the first show you were on because I remember bad soap opera Green Hilly, where
put the my tongue in the dog's mouth.
You're kissing everyone. Yeah. And well, Canteen Boy was probably later. Was that was early on or no? with you and
Ca-
Sandler.
Sandler.
Canteen?
So it was Sandler. So it was a while ago. Sandler.
Maybe
Yeah.
90, 91.
It was probably early on because Sandler came on,
Yeah.
not your first show. He came on probably by the time you were there, second or third show. Canteen Boy was a fucking hilarious one that we all loved. You were cool for doing it, even though it took some. Back then, it was only letters. You could ignore them better. It's not.
Oh, they letters.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Letter. We got a lot of letters about that.
What was that woman's name who was the standards person? She had like an English accent.
It
and she'd
wasn't
come in the
Audrey
room.
Pert.
Was she British?
Yeah, Audrey Pert was British.
Dickman.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was exactly standards, but
Was it truly Pert Dickman? Was she?
I
Yes.
believe she was
Dickman?
Audrey Pert Dickman, and she
Mhm.
was quite a character, lovely lady.
Well, I love when she would walk in. In my earliest days, I found the process so funny. She'd come into Lauren's office or wherever they were for the notes, and she'd be like, "And now you can't say bowls, but you can say pussy, and you can't say
Yeah.
you can say scrotum, but you can't say dick." And she'd have a whole list.
Yeah.
And here was this woman like right out of Mary Poppins.
Yes.
You can't say suck or blow, but you can say fillet.
You can say gobble the goo. You can't say spladoodle.
You can say fisting, but you can't say anal digits. Sorry.
You can say streaming ropes of jizz.
Yes,
But-
you can say fisting, but you must cut the back half of the line up to the shoulder. You can't say that.
Good
You
take.
can say squirting, but no, you can't say squirting, but you can say squirt.
So
Yeah, she
for
was
sweaty
hysterical.
balls, did she give you notes for sweaty balls? I mean, you
Shredder
went-
ball.
that
That sounds
No,
no
I just rode in their wake. I mean, I get in there with them, and I thought I don't want to. Literally, I'd sit there and keep this stone face and do it. And people say, "Oh, they love that sketch." I just thought I just have to go with them. I have to imitate.
Yeah.
I have to get into their frequency. And they were so soft and so sincere and everything. So I thought, just imitate them, get into the vibe of the show, and it worked. Because there's sometimes you do sketches and you lose the rhythm between the live camera and the audience.
Mm-hmm.
1 minute you're acting for the theater,
Mhm.
and the next minute you're not. I remember one time I played a guy who gets shot to pieces in a foxhole. It's like a World War I movie. And I grabbed this guy and I'm like, Jimmy, I want you to do me a favor. Tell my wife and my kids that I love her. And he's like, I will, Captain, I will. And he goes to walk away. I go like, Jimmy, and I pull him back. And everything I say is progressively more absurd. I'm like,
Yeah.
Jimmy, I want you to tell my brother-in-law that a man that's paralyzed can never be more than half a man. You know?
And it keeps escalating. Yeah.
Oh, it keeps going so bad. Like things that you could never. Do you focus on that, which is cancellation now and things you could never do back then?
Oh yeah, I did an
Sure.
Asian character in '86. I had no idea it could never fly now. But on the third time we did it, Candice Bergen was the host, and then we addressed it, and she said, "Well, you are a bit of a racial stereotype to me in character
Ooh.
as this Asian character."
Oh.
This was '86. And even back then, it did get a little bit of noise. But I lived in San Francisco. I lived near Chinatown, so I'd known this guy. I talked to him occasionally. He had a pet chicken.
Dana, that's not an excuse. Okay, that's
Yeah.
stupid. Yeah. I, live in
Hanging
China.
up.
I live near Chinatown. Yeah.
No, Alec,
I know.
did you do the
this
one?
is 40 years ago, folks. Just hold your
Alec,
letters.
did
Go
you do
ahead.
the one where you were a cop and you were sickened by a car
With
wreck
Jimmy.
and
With
you
Jimmy.
threw up?
Yeah.
And
They
then
ran the hoses across the stage,
yeah.
up
Yeah.
our pants like me and Fallon, and up my arm. And I said, "Kid, listen, you're gonna have to get used to bodies like this, or whatever the fuck it was that were in you." And Jimmy, of course, was at the height of his cracking up in the middle of the sketch.
Yeah.
And so he's like snickering. And finally, so he sees the body, and they had us hold our hands up in this very theatrical way because the little nib of the pipe was coming in the palm. So Jimmy would go like this, and then this huge, like, garden hose projectile vomit spray would come out. And then him vomiting makes me vomit. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but I want to say back to your Asian stereotype
Yeah.
that ironically,
I apologize.
Thanks.
no, it's okay. But I'll never forget, like, one of the deftest, most unbelievable things I saw on the show was when we did the Japanese game show with Chris
Oh
Farley.
my God.
Know all
you were-
about
And
it.
fucking
Oh my
and fucking Mike Myers comes out
That's
and
unreal.
plays the Japanese game show host, and was like, I remember sitting there going, "Does Myers really speak Japanese?"
God, it was
How the
really
fuck?"
good.
He,
Yeah.
he nailed it. It was like he
didn't
was
he
like
do
Olivier.
it phonetically, like actual Japanese language?
He
Or-
was like
Yeah.
he was like
Wasn't-
Olivier. He
Yeah.
was so brilliant in that part. And Chris, I came here
Oh, fuck.
to see a game show, not be on a game show. Quacky Serpi Niku.
And he gets it right at the end.
And Myers going, Quacky Serpi Niku.
Yeah. And then they chop someone's finger off that gets it wrong. And he goes, I don't speak Japanese.
I don't think I'm going to do anything here.
Oh, and then they electrocute
the guy loses.
him.
They put electrocute his balls, and then I lose. Me and Janine Garofalo lose, and we chop our fingers off. They hand us the ceremonial knife, and you see, we're there, and Farley turns. He's like, oh, good Lord! We're slicing our fingers off.
Dude, that's such an all-time sketch. That is such a great one.
It's potent.
Everything about
it is potent, man. I mean, it just flies. Some sketches are like that. Just like you can't take a look away.
Now, do you guys, I mean, this is not, don't answer this question if you don't want to. Do you tune in every now and then and watch it? I mean, as alums, do you watch it every now and then?
I watch most shows, I'll be true confessional, Sunday morning when I'm having coffee. And then they're all stacked and I'm able to watch. I watch the show that way. So,
yeah.
I mean,
I'm asleep.
You
by
got 8 kids,
so.
7 kids. So what are you up at? Yeah, you're not up that
You
late.
can't afford a TV.
Yeah.
I'm asleep at 10:30. I can't afford an iPad. I don't have
No, Alec, I actually watch either Twitter or Instagram. One of them I follow SNL. And what they do smartly is every sketch, as it comes out, it pops on your Twitter, like the full sketch. So the next day you can sift through and you just can watch the whole one or a chunk of update or someone's bit on update. So it's very convenient and it still counts. I mean, you still get to see it. I wish we had that back then. If you missed the show, you had to wait for a rerun for 6 months.
I believe, sorry to interrupt, just in terms of the ratings, I think it's the highest rated show on NBC. I mean, in prime or late night.
Once they did that the primetime thing on the West Coast, when they moved that to primetime, and they do it live both places simultaneously, 8:30 in LA and 11:30 in New York, that changed everything. I mean, they're printing money.
And they get a couple billion YouTube views or 1.6 billion last year.
And as you know, isn't it funny how over the years, I mean, I'm always going to, exalt Lorne, and he's a dear friend of mine, but it's like, how many people have tried to take him down? I mean, how many people have tried to
Saturday Night Live, dead,
to shoot Saturday Night Live and get rid of Saturday Night Live and kill it off and have somebody, another network. And next season's 49. He's a year away from his 50th season.
There's no other personality that I know of, but before we get to the book, the silly book, when you're at this point looking back, you go, only Lorne could do all those frequencies. The Harvard people respect his intelligence. He knows how to talk to network people. There must have been so many times like, let's do this pre-tape, turn it into an hour. We should change the theme. It's getting boring. I mean, he's held to this brand all these years, and that's what makes it such a seminal show in the history. But
also his understanding of certain things was frequently, maybe not every instance, but his understanding of the situation was frequently so pithy. Like when I did 30 Rock, I knew one thing very early. Because I'd done movies with people, and I did movies back in the days when you had a 10 or 12 week schedule. Yeah, it's not like shooting a movie in 5 days like now. And and I was there on 30 Rock, and I knew one thing. I said, "She's my co-star. She's the creator of the show. She's the head writer. But I'm on camera, so if I have any issues about the writing, I can't talk to her. I need to go." So I assigned Carlock that role in BG, and I'd be going in my room, and I'd say, "Well, I don't think I want to say that. I don't think, let's say this a little less harshly. Let's say this a little differently." And there might have been one instance where she said to me, "Oh, I really want you to do this as written." And or something where it wasn't like a problem, but it was like one moment of debate about something. And I'll never forget, we're talking one day later on, and Lauren goes, "Remember, she's German."
Faye is German?
Yeah. He goes, "Remember, she's German."
Yeah. Well,
and he'd always say things like that. Remember, she's German.
Lauren, like a lot of smart people, would take a giant subject and get it down to like 4 or 5 syllables, like something like that. He's not going to give you a 10-minute speech about temperament or whatever. Remember, she's German. And that's all you need to know.
He is the master at that.
Yeah.
He sends you flowers, sends you a present. It's always a one-line joke.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Lorneism or ones that most people know? Because I have one that I don't think everybody knows, but there's the classics are right or exactly. You know, those are the simple ones.
Mine is you'd be sitting there having dinner at his house, and he'd be talking and regaling you with stories of his real friends, because his real friends are the ones from the original days. Steve Martin. You'd say Steve and Paul. There's two Paul.
Paul. Yeah.
And the other Paul. Left-handed Paul. And
Marty and Steve came by, and I would say that you're in that posse too.
Yeah.
He speaks
Ed
about
Schlossberg came by.
Yeah.
Ed Schlossberg.
Tina.
But my favorite thing was his recall mechanism, his groping thing, which we all have. We have a thing we use to what I call a recall mechanism. So he's telling a story as he goes to recall. He go, well, it's like that thing where he'd say, it's like that thing.
Yeah.
And I was going to call my podcast, which is called Here's the Thing.
Yeah.
We were going to call it It's Like That Thing. But then we thought our other show. Now, but let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You guys started this how long ago? You've been doing this how many years now?
No, we're year and a half.
Was this a COVID-born thing or no?
Not really. It was just that the podcasting world had gotten so it had this bubble. It grew and it was going crazy. And then I had a little off-label podcast. I had no network or any. I was doing. David came on
Ham radio,
and so David and I riffing, and then our mutual manager Mark Evans, he does a good impression. Hi, Mark, if he's listening. Said you guys should do a podcast. So we just thought we'd try it. You know, because we liked hanging out. I moved back down to LA after raising my kids up in Northern California, and I kept seeing David, going out to dinner with David and stuff. So then we thought we'd try it, and then because we attached the SNL theme, we don't really know why, but for our purposes, it kind of got really big. We're like, damn.
Yeah.
You know?
I love the guest list. I'm blown away. And you two, I mean, I had an address, a different address as rental, married to my ex-wife, blah, blah, blah. For 30 years, from 1983 to 2013. Then after 2013, when my daughter Ireland turned 18, I didn't have a place there anymore, and I haven't had a home there. And we would go out there and hotel it for a while when we only had a couple of kids. And my point is, I haven't been out there in forever. How is it out there now? What's it like?
It's a little rough around the edges, David, as you would say. I mean, there's a huge homeless problem and a huge crime problem, and so you have to really watch yourself.
They say, "Come for the taxes, stay for the crime."
And the weather.
Also, it's finally sunny today. It hasn't been sunny, Alec, for 6 months, and if all these other things are going on, at least give us some sun. It's a little different. I mean, I'm from Arizona, so I like this side of the country. I wasn't ever like an East Coast guy, but it's getting a little trickier.
Did you struggle in New York? You didn't like it?
I liked it. It was interesting, but I didn't really feel any roots there, any home. So when we had weeks off, Farley would go to Wisconsin, Adam would go to New Hampshire, and Chris Rock would go to Brooklyn. And I would just sometimes fly back home to LA and come back. But, my brother was there for a while, and so I'd see them. One time I saw Alec Baldwin outside of, I think it was by Ollie's on the West Side. And it was only after I met you once on the
Are
one
you saying
show.
I'm fat? Are you saying I'm fat?
No, you were a superstar, and some guy goes, "Hey, Squeeb Squabber," you said something funny from my act, and then you pulled your parka down, and you pulled your dick out. No, you pulled your parka down.
You
and
can't
you said,
say pull your dick out. You have to say
go,
reveal the penis.
Dana, this is a tear-jerking story.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway, so you started jerking off, and no, you pulled your parka down. You go, "Hey, it's me, Alec, from the show." I go, "Well, I know Alec. Why do you know me?" So it was I actually wrote on that for a while. It gave me a little street cred.
You know what's funny? Was it because I was there? Was when Stern and his wife had that benefit at the talk
were you
house
there?
for the animal. I was there, and you fucking killed. You were so funny. You did a stand-up thing for the benefit, and you were so fucking funny.
I didn't even know you were there. The scary thing.
You were fantastic.
How long was it? Was it a tough crowd in your mind, David, or do you remember killing it?
It was pretty nice because I started. It was very small. It was for Beth Stern's Animal Foundation, and so it was really fun to do. But I think Bon Jovi, John was there maybe. I don't know if you saw him, but
A lot of our neighbors.
it was all
were there.
it was all a little squad out there, and it was nerve-wracking because it was mostly these kind of guys, and
Lauren.
it was more fun. Oh yeah, by the way, Lauren of course throws you off because they go, there's going to be an empty seat next to Lauren for Jack, so Jack might come and sit directly in front of you in the front row, and so that makes me feel sick because we've all seen Ironweed. So I anyway I do my act. I joke around with Beth. I make fun of her. I make fun of, and then I sort of got in the act. Did about 30, 40, but it was super fun and got to go to Lauren's after. And
what was the joke you made about drugs? It was something you said about scoring drugs or something you said.
Maybe it
which
was.
I literally like sharded when you said that.
I don't know. I'll say it, and then you'll be like, "No, it wasn't that."
No,
it was like I said. Whenever I take drugs, my loser friends always. Whenever I take any pill out of my pocket, my buddy goes, "Give me one." I go, "You don't even know what it is." He goes, "Come on, dude, I'm married." I go, "What does that mean?" I go, "This one's for a sinus infection. It gives you cramps." He goes, "Come on, dude, I got kids. I'll take anything." So I give it to him, and because he wants it to be a Vicodin. And then I see him cramped over a half hour later, and then he gives me the thumbs up. It's different. I'll take it. So anyway, Alec, it's not that joke, but there's a whole thing.
It wasn't that joke, actually.
I'll send you a link to my specials.
It was a better joke. It was a better joke.
You fucking asshole. I knew you were going to say that no matter what I said. I fell into that.
David has called our guest a fucking asshole.
I log rolled you. Now, so L.A., where I lived everywhere. I mean, I lived in Venice. Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember, you don't know Venice, man. I remember Venice.
Oh, yeah, Venice is
skates. You don't know Venice.
Venice
you
is
don't know Venice.
Beach and
Venice when they were selling LSD.
Bohemian.
The guy was on roller skates.
Yep.
He'd be roller skating down going, Sid, I got you, Sid.
Yeah.
And we would hang out there. I remember it was like Bright Lights, Big City, literally. It was Jay McInerney's my neighbor. And it was like Bright Lights, Big City because I would be so fucking wasted. Remember, I always tell people because I'm 38 years sober.
Yeah, you were fun for a while there,
right? So you partied pretty hard.
I have my moment, but the point is that in New York, as we always discuss with people, is in New York somebody else is doing the driving. You're back in the 80s. You're on your feet. You walk everywhere at 10 bars every street.
Yeah.
Taxis, no Uber, then Subway, a lot of Subway, and we would be fucking shit faced every night. I go to LA. And I start making money, and I'm shit-faced every night behind the wheel of a car. And I get to like the second year of me doing it. I think I had a 5-liter Mustang. I'm at Warner Brothers, and I want to go home because I'm tired. It's 2:00 in the morning, and I'm at Warner Brothers, and I live in Venice. And by the time I get to the 10 freeway, going west toward the beach, I get near, what are those streets there? Centinela or whatever the fuck it is. And I Sawtell. And I'm going to flatten out. I go, everybody tells me this car will do blah, blah, blah. And I flatten this car out and I'm doing 135 miles an hour on the Santa Monica freeway at 2:00 in the morning. Jesus. I remember I literally thought for a moment, I stopped and I thought, if I had a car accident now, I would just turn into a pizza. I'd just become a pizza. Yeah, and I said, I got to stop. So I stopped. I slowed the car down, got sober, gave the car to a friend. I gave it away. I said, you can have it. And a friend's kid. And the point is that, I lived out there and I lived everywhere. I lived in the Valley, Beachwood Canyon, everywhere. And it's just so weird to me. It's such a huge part of my life. And I never go there. Never.
Do you don't get offered work?
Because here in New York, because here in New York, it's easier here because in New York, we've been stepping over bodies for decades here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no big deal to us. I mean, like it is. You guys are all a little.
We got a bit precious. Of Venice is really bad for that. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not making fun of homeless people. They're great. They're not great, but they're okay.
I'd be up all night and the sun's coming up and then you hear the sand graders out of the beach, cleaning the beach. Then you'd hear the power washers where they would wash all the filth off the benches on the oceanfront walk in a truck with a tank on it. Mm-hmm. And by the time you woke up a Monday afternoon, because you've been sleeping all morning because you were so fucked up, you go out on the beach and everything was gleaming. It was like the little window. Monday afternoon and Tuesday during the day that Venice was like fresh and new. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I loved living in Venice. Love.
People still
I never go.
Yeah. People still, I mean, there's
without getting
parts are nice.
Without getting specific, where are you? Are you west or are you east?
I'll just give you the
latitude, centralized.
I'm pretty much
central.
in Hollywood, in the Hill a bit. It's not even Beverly Hills anymore. As my dad said, kind of sliding down the old fame ladder, huh?
If you were,
but my dad was supportive.
Jason Schwartzman had the best line. I did a commercial with him. It's absolutely horrible commercial, and I fell in love with him. He's such a sweetie. We did a commercial for Amazon Alexa, and it was the biggest fucking waste of my time. But I loved him, and I turned to him and I go, and I forgot. I mean, I knew who his mom was, but it went out of my head for a minute. I go, where did you grow up? And you saw this pause, like he was kind of ashamed, and he was kind of awkward. And I go, where did you grow up? There's a pause, and he goes, Westwood, north of Sunset.
Yeah, you got to clarify. I'm in Sunset
Brilliant.
Plaza, which is fully fucked.
I know Sunset Plaza.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, parts of it.
and
I used to
I
hang
live near.
I have a tenth of an acre. I'm not doing too bad.
It's actually it's quite.
I like land.
It's a nice house.
Yeah,
Put it
no,
that
it's
way.
good. Alec, what about that? What did he? I don't know if he knows about that book, Burn It Down. Did you hear that? Do you know what book that is?
Yeah, I mean, the one where the woman is attacking everybody. Listen, I mean, I've been attacked.
Mhm.
You know, I've had people attack me,
Oh yeah.
and it's always the same tired. And I mean, and let's face it, as you get older, you realize some of it I brought on myself,
Mhm.
some of it not. And you must always tell yourself it's hard, but you must always tell yourself that tired trope, which is consider the source. So, like if I said, if Letterman made fun of me, if Ellen DeGeneres, somebody I admired, Chris Rock made fun of me, then I'd really be upset. I'd be sad.
Mhm.
But some of the people that over the years, especially recently, that have attacked me are people who I don't think are funny. They don't have any talent. They're just a bile duct of hatred for people online and so forth. So it's like it really doesn't bother me. They're not anybody who I give them too much, because I've been around people. When I gave that image to you, David, of the log rolling thing, you know, I did early then. I did Letterman when he was doing the old show on NBC late at night, and he could just gut you. He was so clever
Sure. Yeah.
and so quick,
Yeah.
and you were very, very, what everything you said was what I call red wire, green wire, because it's like in the old episodes of Mission Impossible where it's like the guys here is like, which wire do I cut, the red wire or the green wire, to defuse the bomb? When you're caught with a decision, a quick decision that could be fatal, we always say red wire, green wire, my friends and I. And it's like, with Letterman, it was like, he's going to kill you. He's going to log roll you. And there's a handful of people I've met who are just that witty and that quick, like Spade. I mean, Spade is so quick, and and Tina, and it's just, but so those people did me in, it's a little bit more disconcerting, but there's a lot of them where you sit there and go, is that all you got? You know what I mean? It's like,
Well, some
it's a
come
weird
from
time.
a fun place, and some feel really going after it. And that's the difference. Like I've made fun of people on Hollywood Minute and stuff. I like 99% of them. I don't do it as much anymore. But when I make fun of people, it's usually with more of a spin and fun. But sometimes it feels too rough, and you go, that one is sort of directly at someone, and that's tougher to take. Because
we all go ahead. People, what?
No, I'm just saying, when people make fun of me, I don't like it as much as when I make fun of them. It's basically.
Well, it's funny how we all know. We're all old enough to know, especially me. I'm a bit older than you guys. And
I'm older than you, Alec, but we'll get to that later.
I'm 65. How old are you?
68. You're like a kid to me.
No. Are you fucking kidding me?
You're like a kid to me.
You're like a baby in a crib.
You're like a high school.
But you sound like a child. I mean, you sound like a child all the time.
You should see his wiener.
Hi. Well, you
sound like an Asian. You sound like an Asian child.
Every impression is Asian.
Yeah, do the Asian child. But you guys know, looking back, because we all started devouring content, whatever it was. I started devouring the old Warner Brothers gangster movies when I was 10 years old.
Yeah,
I watched Dean Martin roasts. I wasn't going to watch. I mean, I watched TV up to a certain point. I watched series TV until a certain era. I watched the Munsters and Gilligan's Island and the Beverly Hillbillies and all this other shit. And I watched, Mr. Ed and the Ed Sullivan Show and Candid Camera when I was a little boy. Then when we get to what I call the Aaron Spelling epoch, I turned off TV. I didn't watch it. I watched one
Boat.
show, Love Boat. Oh, that's the Hotel, which I was on actually.
Hotel.
But the Hotel with James Brolin. But the gag is that I watched one show when I was like in high school, and I was a teenager. I'd smoke a big fatty out the window of my bedroom, and I'd watch Mary Hartman. I was addicted to that show. I started getting more into movies. But my point is that we all know from watching Dean Martin roast and things that when Rickles would attack people, everybody was in on the gag, and he always ended it with a little dollop of love, a little P.S. I love you. You know what I mean? When Joan Rivers would do her thing, which she could just eviscerate, she did a lot of it to their faces. Like there's a clip online of her just pissing in the face of all the hosts of The View and saying things about them. It's the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life. But the same with her. She knew they were in on the gag, and sometimes not. But she was good at it. But there's other people now who I've seen recently, a couple lately, where it just there is no bottom. I mean, there was a bottom, and now there is no bottom. They will say anything. That's kind of tough.
Well, we're in the era of, this is maybe the biggest cliche, but if it's outrageous, it's contagious. So people, how do you be outrageous? How do you get attention? How do you trend? How do you make noise? And it kind of dovetails into these things. Criticism.
This is why I'm quitting. I'm retiring. I'm retiring. I'm done.
Are we going to trend? We never trend.
I'm retiring. Yeah.
Thank you so
much.
much.
I've got a couple of projects that I'm attached to.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do these projects. And then I realize I've gone from COVID, and then of course a very difficult period of what happened in New Mexico, where I was kind of cloistered. I have been home with my kids and left. I either shot in New York, we filmed in New York, or I went away almost never. I go like a week, I'd come back, maybe twice a year. I've been home with my kids, and I drive my kids to school every day. My 4 oldest ones go to school together out in Brooklyn. They go to a full language immersion program in Brooklyn in Spanish. Oh. And I'm with my kids, and it's like I've rowed my kayak into this current, and I can't get out. Like, I don't want to miss being with my family, being with my wife, being with my kids. I mean, you got to offer me the check, or you got to give me the towering creative opportunity, or I'm like, I don't fucking care anymore. Like, I've done that. Acting is something which I don't have the same feeling. Well, my kids all have a very, very, my kids are New Yorkers, so there's really kind of there's a Pesci-esque, De Niro-esque, Pacino-esque
they're
edge.
Tough kids then.
Yeah, no, they're tough.
And
so
like
my son, Romeo, who's the most beatific. I mean, I used to look at pictures of my son Romeo online. He's absolutely the most beautiful boy you've ever seen. And we're in the last summer, we're in the playroom, and I say, listen, pal, we're going to go have dinner. I go, leave the toys here. So leave the puzzles and the toys here. We're going to go have dinner. And then, because when you bring the toys with you, you don't eat. So let's leave the toys here. And then after dinner, we'll come back and we'll play with the toys. And he stares at me. It's like an Eastwood movie. He stares at me. He goes, "You're a bitch." And I literally start to hyperventilate. I start to grab my chest. And I go, "What did you say?" And he doubles down. He goes, "I'll call you a bitch. Like, I'll see you a bitch and I'll raise you one bitch." I call my wife in the room, and you realize they get all this on YouTube. So we have their pads filtered, but if they get a hold of my pad and they go on my Safari and they go and watch, they're watching Goodfellas.
A movie called You a Bitch.
They're watching that new series on Netflix. You a bitch. I call you a bitch.
Yeah. So he sees that somewhere, and now he's using it with you, which is very ballsy.
Sorry, but what age and what size is this human being when he calls
Can
you
you
the bitch?
take him?
Age and size.
He's the size of a Tootsie Roll. This kid. He's a little kid. He's a fucking kid.
Yeah.
I have things for dinner bigger than him. It's like but my son Raphael just turned 8. He's getting taller and lankier. My son Leo is 7. My son Romeo is 5, and my son Eduardo is 2.5. He'll be 3 in September. But my point is that it's like watching human development in real time, being around them, watching them change, watching them try to tell a joke for the first time, trying to be funny for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
To watch when they have some real generosity between them, when they're really together as a unit and they love each other, when they're not, when it's not Hagler Hearns here on Friday night, it's just something that's very hard for me to give up. So, I mean, I want to work, but I hate to leave home.
Those are nice moments. Yeah.
It's getting to know a human being from the inside out.
Now, Spade, you said you have a daughter? How old is she?
14.
She's 14.
Yeah.
and you raised her in L.A.
No, she's in the Midwest. She doesn't live with me.
Oh.
We'll do a side chat. She doesn't live with me, but we
you can DM
she's
later.
great, and I'm seeing her next week. So I see her a lot. It's not the perfect typical situation.
I've been there.
You know what I mean? So
my daughter Ireland just had a baby, so I occupy that rare space. My daughter Ireland had a little girl named Holland, and that's a tradition in my family, naming your children after countries and regions of the world.
You know, Alec, I talked to Ireland once. I think she was about 8. This isn't.
She called you a bitch. She said you're a bitch.
She called me, and then she hung up. But I had caller ID. No, Kim. I worked out where Kim did, and she had just seen The Emperor's New Groove, an old cartoon movie I did, and she said, "Would you call Ireland as the llama?" I played a llama. It's online. I'll send you a link. So I call because Ireland's just a little kid that likes that movie. So she talked to me, I don't even know what I'm saying. But anyway, you get it. It's called "I'm a Great Guy." Whatever. That's the moral.
Don't you love doing animation?
Oh yeah.
And I'll say this without an ounce of irony or sarcasm. People say to me, "What do you think is the greatest movie you ever were in? What's the best movie you ever made?" And I, without hands on, I go, "Boss Baby." Boss Baby.
Oh yeah.
The greatest movie I ever made. I had more fun. Those guys, because as you know, the concept, the one line on it is that animation is so thrilling because can your imagination keep up with technology? Because you can do anything. What have you got?
So great.
And I would do Tom McGrath, who directed and do those things and does a lot of voices in Madagascar, did the penguin in Madagascar. So, I mean, Tom McGrath, he made me fucking cry. And I had more fun doing the first Boss Baby and the second one too, but the first one was like the first one, so it was so great. And I love doing animation. Love.
I think Boss Baby was funnier than it was supposed to be because I heard so much about it. It was like, you never know with those things. You do it. And
but the art, I remember sitting in this room. I'm in my kids' playroom. I'm in my kids' playroom right now because the only room that's quiet because they're not here. And I remember doing Boss Baby. And like a year later, because I never watched my own films. I can't stand to watch my own films. And I almost never do. And so, but I'm sitting with my kids and they want to watch Boss Baby. And I watch it. And I can start getting tears in my eyes. And I called Tom. I go, "Tom, this movie is so beautifully done. Like the artwork. I mean,
yeah.
And the artwork is so, those guys, they blew my mind. You still do a lot of that, Dana? Any animation?
I did a couple Secret Life of Pets. First one was huge. The second one didn't do so good. But I have a ride at Universal. They basically asked me to do the grumpy old man as a dog. I don't like the way things are. So I was a basset hound and I had wheels for hind legs. He was sort of crippled. But I just randomly, this is a complete non sequitur. 2 of my favorite performances of movie stars, and they're very operatic. They're theatrical. One is Robert Shaw as Quint in Jaws. The bookend is Al Pacino as Scarface.
Yes.
Those are both operatic, rhythmic things that just really have always stuck with me. And both movies, by the way, too, are just...
Now your boys, you have 2 boys.
2 boys, yes.
And how old are they now?
29 and 31.
And are any of them in the biz?
One is, it has a production company and he's doing stuff. I've done stuff with both of them, a scripted podcast called The Weird Place. So they've been trundling along. They've done some stand-up. I think my youngest is really, he wants to be a farmer, which I love. I mean, really cross pollinating and growing.
Where is he?
He's up here at the farm. Yeah.
He's at Farm Aid.
He's at the farm. Where you're into location. We are exactly.
No, Alec knows LA and he misses it. He has to come out.
Could I just on this?
I miss. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want on this subject because I love movies so much. But I just want to say a movie of yours that there's 2 here that are on our dial for my wife and I. The Edge. Anytime relatives come, we're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch a movie. And if they haven't seen The Edge, because you and Anthony,
my favorite movie, my favorite movie to shoot, because when I was on vacation with my ex-wife, I'd flown to LA and done a read through with Mamet. Mamet wrote the script. It was called Bookworm originally. It was much more. Baroque before they changed it.
Mm-hmm.
And David wrote the screenplay, and we go to a reading, and De Niro was going to play the lead.
Oh.
And the character is named Charles Morse, and he's the scion of a very wealthy English family, whatever, very rich guy. And I think that De Niro realized that he was more Stavros Niarchos than he was Charles Morse. So he was not from off the Mayflower type. So he bowed out. And I'm on vacation with my ex-wife, and the phone rings, and they said they got Tony Hopkins to play the lead. And I burst out sobbing. I thought, my greatest dream to work with Tony. So we go off to the Canadian Rockies, and we shoot it up in Banff. And I have so many memories. Harold Perrin, who was in Lost, there were two great lines, none of them by me, by the way. So Harold Perrin gets to the rehearsal, and he sits at the table. We're going to rehearse in this hotel ballroom thing they had, conference room. And Harold Perrin sits there and goes, Anthony Hopkins, Alec Baldwin, and me. I wonder which one the bear's going to eat first. And he was fun. And then Tony and I, because he's from the same town as Burton, and of course, is a great Welsh.
Richard Burton with that, Welsh word, yeah.
He's great with the Welsh. He has a great Welshman raised and trained by at the foot of Olivier at the National. He could do his Burton. So we would do dueling Burtons. We would do dueling impersonations of Richard Burton.
Oh.
And Tony won. The crew applauded him at the lunch table because he did we would go back and forth sometimes. And finally he got it down to a haiku. And he looked at me. He did. He looked at me and he goes, I can't do it.
Elizabeth would
my
be
voice.
it, right?
No, he did. He literally, he goes, Elizabeth, baubles and stones. He goes, Elizabeth, baubles and stones, white wine, Marbella. Well, that's where it's mine. And then he plants his face in his foot. He passes out into his lunch tray. And everybody went, that's it. It's over. He's the winner. He's the victor.
I had the same thing with him. I did a movie that was not well received, Road to Wellville.
What'd you do?
Road to Wellville with Anthony Hopkins. And we did
I love Road to Wellville.
It was unique.
I love Road to Wellville.
Interesting. I
love that.
I was the ne'er-do-well son, but I got to hang out with him and do stuff with him and loved him. Love him now.
Parker, right?
Yeah. Alan Parker.
I love Road to Wellville. Yeah. I love it. I always used to embarrass myself. Whenever you love a movie that the star considers a misfire, I always say that whenever I see Hanks, I say, I love Joe versus the volcano.
And was it?
I do too.
Fine.
And he's like, oh, okay. Like he doesn't really know what to do with that. But what was the other movie you were going to mention? The Edge and what?
Well, The Edge, and then another one that just it's complicated. I thought you were just so funny in that. I mean, you really went. I mean, it was hysterical.
Well, I always thought when Nancy Myers asked me to do that, she said to me, she said, do you care that Meryl is 9 years older than you when you prepared to play her love interest in a film? And she goes, because the men do it all the time. The men have leading ladies that are far younger than them, and they seem to get away with it. And she's going on and on and on about it. And I said, Nancy, my character doesn't want to bang his ex-wife. I said, my character's still in love with his ex-wife. So that's a huge difference. And I said, and so to fall in love with Meryl is probably the easiest thing I'm ever going to do. I mean, like I'm going to steal your money. And I get on the set, and Meryl really was like among the most amazing people I've ever met in my life.
She's sexy.
Both of you name someone before we run out of time here.
What?
Before we run out of time here.
We're out of time. We go as long as we want. Right. No, go. What's your question?
But name somebody you both worked with that really was just a joy in any venue, movies, TV.
Oh, that was a joy.
Did you love George Segal?
I did love George Segal.
I love him.
You can't help but he had everyone on his finger. He's so good.
Yeah.
Such a luck out. And he used to make so much fun of me because if I would miss a line or something, he'd look at the audience and go, I used to do movies with Elizabeth Taylor. Now I work with this fuck up.
Exactly.
So funny.
That's like Mickey Rooney. Mickey was eccentric. He was tough. I would say just where I was in my life being cast as the third lead with Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas's last movie. Not a great movie, but to hang out with them. And
which movie?
It's called Tough Guys.
I know. Did you ever hear my story about that movie?
No, you have stories about Tough Guys?
Spade, what are you eating? A dog biscuit or a Girl Scout cookie? What is it?
You're telling a story. Don't worry about me.
He's hypoglycemic, so he's got to eat everything.
Mind your
Blacking out, Alec.
Like Sherry said in the podcast.
Yeah,
It was your turn to pay. Your turn to pay at Fiorello's, and the waitress says, and the waitress says, your friend is passed out in the bathroom.
Yes, Sherry was
He's
one of our
hypoglycemic.
favorites. Yeah, Sherry was.
Go
ahead.
The famous story that
Kirk and Bert.
The guy brings the PA brings the stack of glossies, knocks on the door, hands the stack glossies to Burt Lancaster, hands him a pen. Burt Lancaster signs a glossy. He goes, "That doesn't look very good. But you have another pen. You have a Sharpie." And the guy pulls out, "Yes, yes." So he signs Burt Lancaster. And he signs all the glossies. And so the guy takes the pen, the regular pen, trots over to Kirk Douglas's trailer, hands him the glossies. He signs it, Kirk Douglas, and he sees how scrawny it is next to Bert's name. And he goes, "Do you have the other pen? Can you go get the other pen for me?" And he goes running back to Burt Lancaster's trailer, knocks on the door, and Burt Lancaster comes out. Burt Lancaster comes to the door with a Sharpie and says, "I suppose you're looking for this."
He knew. Yeah, they had a competition.
They knew each other. I saw him when they did the concert version, because here for years they've had great success at City Center with Encores, the Encores program, where Chicago was birthed from there. And they do all the shows concert style that are not going to get a full production in New York again. Boys from Syracuse, Fiorello, all that stuff. So the seasons for years and years and years now. I used to be on the board of City Center with Joanne Woodward. She corralled me to do that, her and Paul. And the season, so they decided to try to do that in LA. And it was called Reprise. And they did this beautiful, wonderful musical rendition of All About Eve. And Stockard Channing played Stockard Channing played the Margot Channing role, the Betty Davis role. Callista Flockhart played Eve. What's his name? Why am I blanking out?
Ally McEve.
All right, Ally McEve. No, what's his name? Tim. Rocky Horror.
Tim Robertson.
Curry.
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry played the George Sanders role. I mean, the cast was fucking unbelievable. But the opening of it was this big, gigantic, tufted, I want to say chaise or a bed, and the curtains part, and the thing is moving toward the audience, and it's Kirk Douglas is the narrator.
Wow.
Sitting on this bed. And what a way to open a fucking show. And he had already had a stroke. He'd had a stroke. So his voice was not that bad, but he was impaired. But you didn't care. You're just sitting there going, oh my God, the opening of the show is fucking Kirk Douglas, who I worshipped him. He was one of the few movie stars who was also a great actor. Well,
those guys had their own production companies. They do their sort of art film, and then they do the studio film. I mean, they were really and just listening to them and the way they teased each other. It was very, that was me out of body. Like I'm in a movie with Kirk Douglas and Burt Lancaster. It doesn't even make sense. This was a year before I got SNL.
My other favorite Kirk Douglas story is he's on the set of like whatever the movie was, him and Wayne with John Ford.
The War Wagon.
Something. I'll look it up.
War Wagon.
They're on the set of a movie, and Kirk Douglas walks up to John Wayne and he says, "The War Wagon." I think
Dana's
it's
the War. So proud.
Wasn't it the War Wagon they started, or was that William Holden? Sorry, I know it was Kirk Douglas. I thought.
You're gonna look it up.
Look it up. The War Wagon.
You're making me.
John Wayne.
Alex still trying to figure out how to spell Nicholson.
Yes.
He's Googling again, everyone.
Hey, he's going to log roll you. He's going to log roll you
while
if you're not
Alec
careful.
does this, I'll say, Dana, he's the only one of two people with a standing invitation every year to host SNL.
Not anymore.
Why not?
Not anymore. Now, once I did it's War Wagon. You little bitch.
You little bitch.
We watched
call you a bitch.
We watched a lot of movies in our house, Alec.
Fuck.
Lots of movies. War Wagon was on.
Bitch.
I like War Wagons. There's nothing like a wagon for war. You remember what the plot was? It was a war. You could put stuff in it. It was impenetrable. No one could.
Who directed it? Who directed In Harm's Way? Preminger,
yes. I saw that recently.
Jesus, we're going back. I'm too young for this convo.
Could I just insert while you keep looking here? Because this is just to embarrass Alec.
Alec was
he's incredibly philanthropic based on what I read in terms of really being incredibly generous with his money. So anyway, that's just something it's nice to say.
Yeah.
Not that you...
Well, I would do shows. I did jobs, which the whole purpose of doing them were as reservoirs of money for my foundation. Like when I did Match Game, did I want to host a game show? No. I went in there and did the show. We did 3 seasons, and they paid me a lot of money. They paid me so much fucking money. It was amazing.
I love hearing
Put that
that.
in my foundation. Put the money in the foundation. I did 5 years of Capital One bank credit card commercials. They paid me a lot of money over 5 years, a ton of money. Gave all that away. Did Amazon. I would always look for gigs like Amazon Alexa. They pay everything where they pay me of these gigs, and that goes into the foundation.
And what is the foundation's purpose? What's it named for?
Mostly arts related. I mean, we have some environmental, some alma mater. My wife and I both went to NYU. But predominantly, it's arts. The Hampton Film Festival,
New York Philharmonic,
NYU Tisch, where I went to school. But the point is that, I'm assuming either one of you guys, when you have a good time, it doesn't fucking matter. You can be ringing the bell with a bunch of guys and playing Santa Claus for the Salvation Army on the corner. If you're having fun, you're having fun. Mm-hmm. And I went to go do a Match Game. And some guy writes on the internet, he writes the final nail.
Oh, like it was a money play.
The final nail in Alec Baldwin's career coffin. And I went to do Match Game. Jen Mullen, who runs Fremantle, they were the producers. And Scott, the other producer, all of them. I went to do Match Game. I had more fun doing a Match Game than you could possibly fucking. We had a ball. Yeah. We had a ball. And it was like SNL. I mean, SNL is a different animal because it's much more. When I first did SNL, I'll never forget, like you're kind of high and you're kind of, it's blurry. And then finally, Adana, the dresser, grabs me and she throws me in the booth and she says, "We got to get you dressed for good nights." And I go, "What?" She goes, "It's over." And I go, "It's over?" It went by like it was 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
It was such a blur. It was so insane. And then, but other than the intensity of that, Match Game, I had so much fucking fun doing Match Game. We have people come. Horatio was I always say, with the edge of the dais, so 3 on top, 3 on the bottom, and the 2 closest to me, they're my wingman. Caroline Ray, Horatio. I mean, I had people that were my wingman. I mean, I could always throw to them.
Play off of, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They'd always come up with something light and fun and keep the ball in the air. You know what I mean? And then there were people on the show who were like, and we just made fun of them. They give us an answer, and I'd be like, I don't want to name names, but you can just watch the show. And I look at them and be like, on the air, I go, "You've got to be fucking kidding me. That's your answer? Are you fucking kidding me?" We were just smack them. You know what I mean?
But aren't we living in the age where we can do anything? Like I turned down a lot of commercials in the 90s because it was, wasn't considered, you're not supposed to do commercials. I mean, Jay Leno did Doritos. Other than that, but it seems like everyone does commercials. Everyone does game shows. We're in the age of everyone does everything, and also people talk about money a lot more and their brand and protecting their brand.
When I started in this business, you didn't sell alcohol.
Nope.
You didn't sell alcohol. I don't care if you live in a castle in the northern part of Italy. You didn't sell alcohol. Mm-hmm. I mean, no alcohol sales, no tobacco sales. Remember, they used to fly. Movie stars would fly. They paid you $1 million for one day to fly to sell Suntory whiskey in Japan. You never sold anything in the States. Yeah. No alcohol, no tobacco, and all that kind of stuff. And now, I did Capital One a long time when we were doing 30 Rock. And when you're on TV, they want you to be on TV more. When you're on TV, you get invited to do every talk show. But when you're not on TV, you don't. Yeah. So I got invited to do the Capital One thing when I was on 30 Rock. And I'm not saying I'm a pioneer. I'm not saying I'm like, fucking Magellan here of commercials for actors, but now that the dam is broken, everybody does it.
Well, and they get their own brand. They make their own tequila. It's huge.
Booze,
hundreds of millions of dollars. These actors becoming entrepreneurs in sort of multi-$100 million generational billion.
Then there's people who, like, if you're not careful, you can't remember what it is they're selling because they're selling, like Ryan Reynolds. Like, does he sell party balloons or does he sell? Does he sell
phone or phone cases?
Phone or brand muffins or what does he sell? I forget.
He's an entrepreneur. He's just an entrepreneur.
He's an entrepreneur.
He just does everything. But
and the problem is we're just jealous.
Well, did you? I'm just curious for a second. You being philanthropic at that level, I don't know how much money you had at the time, but it seems, is this something from your childhood or being raised Catholic, or is it a familial thing, or where do you think this comes from? The numbers I've seen are just extremely generous, like extremely philanthropic. So,
well, I mean, philanthropy becomes something you're addicted to, and you can make a big mistake.
mm-hmm.
I went to a philanthropy conference that Credit Suisse held, because Credit Suisse was a huge underwriter of the Philharmonics, so they invited. And I went to this thing at a hotel here in New York, and it was in an evening. And I sat with all these guys, and the guy said, "Remember, philanthropy isn't about you giving me $1 million this year.
Mm-hmm.
Philanthropy is about me being able to make plans. You're going to give me $50,000 for the next 20 years.
Right.
I need a reliable reservoir, a reliable pipeline of money to make. I got to be able to make plans.
Mm-hmm.
So don't give me a big check once. Give me a nice check for 20 years. So I can, and that's the mistake I made. We gave $1 million checks, and I kind of got drunk on philanthropy. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a very, you kind of get high.
Good,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, let me tell you something, fellas. My kids are going to come charging through the store any minute now.
No, Alec, I gotta go.
Do you have Do you have any final statement? Anything further? What does Alec want to say?
My IV.
I want to say. Dana, I owe you for my Trump. I totally stole your Nagada. I stole that school of impersonation.
No. You don't know. Your Tony Bennett is one of the best pure impressions. You know,
the only one that worked great was when he came on. Wasn't that fun?
I watched it today, and it was magic.
When he came on, we cried.
Well, he's such a likable character, and you guys were great. But
he's it.
That's a brilliant impression.
And my last thing to Spade is thank you for not log rolling me, and I'll call you a bitch. Okay.
Right, no, I had a blast, dude. I love talking to you.
Alec, this was one of the easiest podcasts I've ever done. I just love listening to your stories. Great. Really, really fast.
Thank you so much, bud.
Loved it. Stay safe.
Talk to you soon.